Ooh, what is going on, football fans? Back at it with a nut. Wait, no, that's the wrong intro. That's the wrong intro. Thought I was doing a video. Stand up, football fans. What's going on, Ramrup? What's going on, Wayfair? What's going on, Lloyd? Big Drake in the house. Newcastle in the house. Gordon, Gecko, Afghanistan, Joel, Newcastle. What's going on? Hope everybody's staying safe out there. With everything going on, hope everybody's having a good Saturday night. Figured I'd pop on, hang out with some of my best subscribers on YouTube. What's going on, Danny? What's going on, Big Daddy? Arco, Luan's in the house. Alyssa's in the house. Giants with a small move today. They pick up a tight end. They had him actually last year. A blocking tight end. They had him last year, and then I think the Patriots ended up with him. Played with the Jets for, I think, 4 or 5 years. So we had a little depth there at the tight end spot. We'll see what we got going forward. Other than that, not a lot of news in the Giants world today. But obviously, there's been a lot of free agent signings that have set us up for the draft. We got the draft coming up. I'm sure you guys got some questions and just want to hang out and talk Giants football, man. So I'm here, and I want to talk with you guys. So I hope everybody's being safe out there. Everybody's having a good Saturday night. So thank you guys for popping in. Chris, Giants are going to trade Ingram. Trevor, they might. I mean, they keep adding tight ends. It's possible. I've talked about the possibility of trading Evan Ingram now for months. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know yet, because he's still in the walking boot. But I definitely think it's a possibility. I won't rule it out. If it's going to happen, I think it'll happen in season. But they're definitely loading up on the tight end spot. And like I said in my 7-round mock draft, I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants draft a tight end late in the draft this year if they're anticipating that. Andrew Christopher, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. Andrew Christopher with the infamous hi. What's up, Andrew, man? Thanks for popping into the stream. What's going on, Jay Lathan? Thanks for popping into the stream. Thank you to everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Eric Tomlinson. I didn't even bother to make a video on Eric Tomlinson. I was kind of waiting, to see if there was going to be another small story, and I was going to kind of combine the two because it's not, obviously we got the Toy Folo guy. We've got Ingram. We got Caden Smith. So it's kind of a guy that's, going to be competing to try to make the 53-man roster, but just another tight end, man. Another guy that's known for blocking on the roster. What's going on, Nicholas? Thanks for popping in the stream. Chris stops for Zingus. Chris, wash your hands, bro. I've been washing them all day, Kashendra. What's up, Luan? What's going on, Adrian? Thanks for popping in. This team has a multitude of tight ends and DTs to trade if necessary. Yeah. I said it a couple of months ago also about the DT. I said Dalvin Tomlinson could be a guy they potentially look to trade. I like Dalvin Tomlinson. I've said that time and time again. I think he does a really good job at the nose tackle position. His play certainly got better when they added Leo Williams. So, but I think he's expendable. With all the talented tackles they've got, and interior linemen they have on this football team. So if you get a mid-late third-round pick for him, I think you pull the trigger. And the same goes for Evan Ingram. What's going on, Andrew? Thanks for popping. The Sports Critic is in the house. What's going on, Sports Critic? Love Amir, man. How you been, buddy? And if you haven't done so, go on over to his channel, too. He says, which offensive tackle should the Giants take, in your opinion? Hope you stay safe. What's going on, Andy Garcia? Daniel Barry in the house. What's going on? Okay, that's the question of the day. And when I made my mock drafts, I picked Wirfs. That's who I think they're going to take. And I'm not going to be upset at all if they take Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs is big. He's definitely translatable to the guard position. Probably wouldn't be my first choice. My first choice is either going to be Wills or Thomas. Andrew Thomas or Jedrick Wills. Those are the two guys I'm leaning with right now. And I saw Lloyd. There he is right there. Lloyd posted my community notes, and he's dead on, by the way, about the film study that is done on that guy's channel is phenomenal. I watch it. I watch his channel all the time, even though he's a Cowboys YouTuber, and he did a really good job of breaking down Jedrick Wills and all the different offensive linemen. But yeah, I think I'd go with Jedrick Wills or Andrew Thomas. I think those are the two safest bets if you're looking for a left tackle. But I'm not gonna be upset at all with Tristan Wirfs. And Mekhi Becton, I think, is the riskiest, but he does have the highest ceiling. But I would lean either Wills or Thomas at this point in time. What's going on? JG's in the house, man. What's going on, JG's? Thanks for popping in the stream. Do you think we could trade our quarterback? We're not trading Daniel Jones. We just got Daniel Jones. You don't trade away a new quarterback. You build around him. That's what the Giants are doing. They're going to build around him. Let's see what we got here. What record do you think the Giants will have? Ask me that after the draft. But right now, looking at our schedule I think is a little harder than initially anticipated going into the season. Because now you got Tom Brady going to the Bucs. We're playing two tough divisions with the South and the AFC North. So we'll see. I don't want to jump the gun. I hope that they're fairly competitive. I want at least 6 wins minimum. I'm hoping for 8 or 9. but I'm hoping for at least 6 wins. And if I had to predict right now, I'd say right around that 6 or 7 win mark. But I think 8 or 9 wins is not out of the realm of possibility if we draft properly and this coaching staff gets the most out of the players on the roster. But we are playing a very hard schedule next year. If you look at it, it is very challenging. Ingram to play receiver this year. I think you're going to see Evan Ingram lined up a lot more on the outside this year from everything I've read when he's healthy and when he's ready to go. I don't think he's going to play receiver, but I think they're going to move him around both in the slot as a tight end, up at the line of scrimmage, as well as on the outside in some packages. Sticky Finger. What's that name? $2 donation from Sticky Finger. I can't even say the rest of it. $2 donation. Is Marcus Golden off the table? Marcus Golden is not off the table yet. He has not been signed. And the only way they bring Marcus Golden back, in my opinion, is if they either A, rescind the tag on Leonard Williams, B, work out a long-term extension, and they pay him like $12 or $13 million a year over 4 or 5 years as opposed to 17 over 1. It would give you that extra $5 million maybe to sign Golden to a short-term deal. That's the only way he's back, though. They're not going to be able to bring him back with Leonard Williams still on the team unless they restructure deals, but I don't see them restructuring deals to keep Marcus Golden. It's possible. I don't expect it. But maybe he comes back for a very cheap price, seeing that there's not really a market for him. So maybe they get him here for $8, $9 million if they're able to restructure that Leonard Williams deal. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I think the Giants are way better than people that Slipman. I think they could be. I'm just trying to be conservative. I don't want to be over the top and get people thinking we're going to win 10, 11, 12 games. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think we have to take a 2 or 3 year approach. That's all I'm trying to say. JG's, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, Ingram can't catch passes if he's always in the ER. That's what... Need this right now, bro. I appreciate it, Gary Gaston, man. I need you guys right now. You guys keep me sane. But JG's, that's what I've been saying for months with Evan Ingram. I love Evan Ingram when he's on the field. Guy's one of the most talented pass-catching tight ends there is. I would never deny that. But the guy has missed 14 games out of his first 48. That's not a good ratio. The best ability is availability. And the guy's not a very good blocker either. So, I'm with you. If the right package comes along, I think the Giants look to trade him because I don't think he's going to be in the long-term plans. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe he'll go out this year. He'll play all 16 games. He'll look phenomenal. And I'm not against giving him another year. I definitely think he could help out Daniel Jones in his second year. And I do think he'll fit very well in this offense. But before we even think about signing this guy to an extension, he's got to show that he's healthy. OGR, man. What's going on, Goat? Thanks for popping to the stream. Luan's in here. Oh, if you guys have not subbed up OGR, that guy is brilliant. I only say it because we agree on pretty much everything. And I love Jeff. He's a great supporter of my channel, and he's got a great Giants channel himself. $10 donation says, my man, you truly are my favorite sports mermaid. All that being said, I can't wait for the draft. Stay safe. Also, where is your N95 mask on stream? Out there in New York, wandering around. I actually wore the mask a couple times. I wear the gloves whenever I go outside. I've tried to avoid going outside at all costs, but I got to exercise, right? I got to stay sane. So I haven't been doing much outside of it. I've been jogging whenever I can. I couldn't do it today because of the weather. It was pouring all day. But yeah, I've tried to stay as safe as I can. But yeah, I haven't been wearing the mask too much. Not yet anyway. I'm kind of staying away from people. My closest I get to people is on my streams. Erica Steele, man, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Jaden Dawkins, I really appreciate that. The champ is here. Yeah, you're the champ, man. Thanks for popping in. Erica Steele says, stand up with the Dolphins. I appreciate the love, man. Hope everybody is staying safe out there, enjoying their Saturday night, and I appreciate everybody for coming into the stream, man. I really do. Let's see what Chris, what is your worst-case scenario at number 4? My worst-case scenario at number 4, it's got to be a wide receiver. I mean, realistically speaking, because I don't even think Derek Brown's a possibility at this point in time. I thought it could have been, but now that they've brought back all these DTs, signed these DTs, I don't see that being a possibility. I don't think a wide receiver is much of a possibility either. It's a very small possibility, but I'm pretty much giving the Giants so much leeway here. I'm saying you could take Isaiah Simmons, you could take any one of the 4 offensive tackles, and I'm not going to be upset. Because I'm going to trust Dave Gettleman's judgment in evaluating the offensive tackle. If he feels Becton's the best guy, I'm going to trust his judgment and hope it works out. Because Dave Gettleman, if he's done nothing else, he has shown he could draft well, and he's good at evaluating players. So I'm giving him a lot of leeway here. You take Simmons, we're Gucci. You take an offensive tackle, we're good to go. But you take a wide receiver, I'm going to blow up again on stream. Hot Nichols with the $2 donation. He says, What are the chances we trade down with who for what? I still think there's a chance, and thank you for the donation, Nichols. I still think there's a chance. I don't think it's as high as it was before free agency for the simple reason you've seen all these quarterbacks go to other teams, whether it's Tom Brady go to the Bucs, whether it's the Colts trade away their first-round pick to the 49ers. So a lot of these quarterback voids have been filled, and if they have, and obviously Rivers signed with the Colts, so there's only 3 or 4 possibilities we could trade down with. I think the Chargers are the most realistic. The Raiders, there's an outside chance, but of course they brought in Mariota, and the Jaguars, I suppose there's an outside chance. But there's still some more chips that are going to fall. We got to wait to see where Cam Newton goes. We got to wait to see where Andy Dalton goes, and Jameis Winston. So we don't have all our answers in terms of who are potential trade partners yet. But thank you so much, man, for the love. I really appreciate that. And I see MH popped into the stream. What's going on, MH? And thank you so much, man, Adam Troy, for the $2 donation. What's going on, Taco? He says, Evan plays all 16 games, 800 yards, give him an extension. Depends on the price for me, man. Depends on the price. I may franchise tag him. They could exercise the franchise tag to prove he can stay healthy for another year after this year because I don't really see another player on this roster where they would utilize the franchise tag. So if they don't sign him on the rookie extension by May, which I can't blame them, he's in a walking boot, they could elect to franchise tag him if he has a really good year this year. Make sure he's healthy for a second straight year. And if he remains healthy for a second straight year, then maybe I give him the extension. I would still be a little bit weary of giving him a 3, 4, 5-year contract. And Sticky Fingers, man, thanks so much for the love, man. $2 donation. He says, LOL, Sticky Finger tips. Great content, though, mate, cheers. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much, and thank you for being a great supporter. And what's going on, Adrian Webb? $5 donation. He says, rescind. Go after Clowney for $20 million a year. Why waste $16 million on a D tackle? Love the content and keep it coming. Yeah, I took today off just because there wasn't a lot of news and I wasn't trying to force content. We had the small signing. I was hoping for another small story to pair it up with Tomlinson, but I really appreciate that. And in terms of Clowney, I don't even think Clowney's going to cost 20. At this point in time, I think you're getting Clowney for 17, 18 on a 1-year deal. I don't see it happening. Even if they rescind the contract, I honestly don't think we're going to get Clowney. Maybe it allows you to bring back Marcus Golden. That's a possibility. I think Clowney's going to end up back with Seattle. That's my honest opinion. I wouldn't be opposed to Clowney on a 1-year deal, though, for $17 million, $18 million. Nothing wrong with that. But I honestly don't see it happening. But I'd rather Clowney on a 1-year deal than, obviously Leonard Williams. I think a lot of the problem that people have with Clowney was it was going to be a 4 or 5 year commitment. He was injury prone. But to get a guy with the potential ability he has on a 1-year deal, I don't see any harm in that. But thank you so much for the love, man. I really appreciate that. And Mark Tversky with the $2 donation. He says, I'm here and truly believe no less than 8 wins. Hey, man, I love the optimism. I love the coaching staff. I think it's possible we could definitely get 8 wins. I'm not going to say no less, especially because of our schedule. But I think this could be a pretty good football team next year. It's just that the win total might not show it. As I say all the time in these live streams, man, my biggest key to next year is seeing improvement on all facets of this team. Seeing Daniel Jones get better in the pocket, making sure he could hold on to the football, seeing the defense improve, and I'm really interested to see the new schemes. I really want to look at the Patrick Graham scheme with the Dolphins, seeing if the players they bring in via the draft and via free agency fit the schemes better than the way that they did when we had James Betcher. Those are the things I'm really looking at. I'm not going into this year with super high hopes, but I hope to be surprised. I hope they win the division, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's definitely a weak division. It was a weak division last year. The Cowboys should be taking a step back with the pieces they've lost. Obviously, they added a new head coach, and if we hired the right coaches, we should be taking a step up with the young players we have on our team. So I'm not going to rule it out. I'm just trying to be conservative. But thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate that. And trade up and get Chase. Yeah, we're not getting Chase Young. We're not getting Chase Young. Don't bank on that, guys. Draft Simmons at 4. If not, draft down. I mean, in a perfect world, Ken, I'm completely with you. If they're going to take an offensive tackle, I would prefer to trade down. But I don't know if there's going to be a trade there available. And if they take Simmons, I'll be smiling ear to ear. I'm definitely more of a tackle guy, but I completely see the value that Simmons would bring to the table. I'm not going to be upset, like I keep saying, either way, offensive tackle or Simmons. I would prefer the tackle. That's just my personal opinion. And slobbing my broccoli Rob, man, with the $5 donation, he says, imagine a trade down with the Chargers and taking Wills or Thomas, then taking Bourne or Julian Okwara with the one of the 2 first-round picks, and then Ruiz or Biadasz. I mean, slobbing my broccoli Rob, if that happens, You get your left tackle of the future, or what you hope is going to be your left tackle of the future. You get your center of the future, and you get a guy with high upside there with Julian Okwara if you bring him in terms of an edge rusher. Bourne is more of an all-around player that is pretty good in coverage. But yeah, you're hoping in that instance you're getting what you hope is 2 of your 5 offensive linemen for the next 10 years and a guy that could impact your defense. I mean, that'd be a home run on draft night. I'd be very happy with that if they were able to trade down. And I think that's why I'd love to trade down with the Chargers, because you're still getting your impact player you would have gotten it for, and you're getting an extra pick. And then the other thing that I keep saying, you could couple those 2 picks and move back up for a higher impact player. Say you want to move, Caleb on Chason drops to 22. You might be able to couple those 2 picks, go up and get him if you took your tackle at 6. So there's a lot of, scenarios if they're able to make that trade down that they could try to improve the roster. Zeke, man, thanks so much for the love, man. $2 donation. He says, what are your thoughts on Willie Gay Jr.? I have not, to be completely honest with you, I have not done enough research on him, to be completely honest with you, Zeke. I've heard the name, but I've not done enough research on him. But because you asked me the question, I will look into him, and I don't know if it'll be in a video, but my next live stream, I'll give you the answer. But I've not done enough research on him. And Cushmaster, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Cush. Cushmaster always brings the Cush. But I'm gonna write that name down now so I don't forget. How is the backup running back? The backup running back, I mean, we brought in a what's going on? Everything's popping in the stream. We brought in a experienced backup running back, Dion Lewis, with the Patriots. He has the connection with Joe Judge, so I'm not shocked there. Wasn't the type of back I was looking for. He's small, he's 5'9", he's a $190, but he can catch the ball to the backfield. He brings some versatility. He's a veteran. He's pretty good in terms of holding onto the football. I'm not thrilled with it, but at the same time, I don't think it was a bad move. I think it added depth to a position that we needed. So I'm happy with the move. Would I prefer a different back? Sure, but beggars can't be choosers. It definitely wasn't a bad move. I'm happy with it. And maybe they could elect to still draft a running back in the draft. It's only a 1-year deal. If they like a guy in the 6th or 7th round, they could certainly spend a pick there. My guess is Wayne Gallman does not have much of a future with the Giants. I could be wrong. That was not a Gettleman guy. And obviously you got a new regime here with the new head coach, Joe Judge. So that's just my guess, though. Watch Doctor, thank you so much, man, for the $2. I like Logan Wilson, Kashendra. I like Logan Wilson. That's one guy. I almost mocked Logan Wilson to the Giants. I do like him. $2 donation from Watch Doctor says, need to trade down and get their offensive tackle and center for the future. We don't even need to necessarily trade down. We could still do it. But yes, I would much rather trade down and get more assets. I mean, hypothetically speaking, you could still draft Andrew Thomas and still draft Ruiz or Biadish or whoever, you see fit there at 36, or wait till the 3rd round possibly and get somebody there. But yeah, no, it's they don't even need to trade down, but it would be better if they could trade down so they'd still have the ability to fill in a hole in the defense in the early rounds. I'm completely with you, man. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of AJ Dillon, Peter Bibby. I would like AJ Dillon a lot. I think that's the type of back we need. 6 foot, 247 pounds, big thumper. That's probably my favorite back in terms of the late round picks that I'd be interested in. I just don't know after they signed, Lewis, if they're going to have their eyes set on drafting him in the 5th round, which is where I think you'd have to take him. But, we'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. The Giants have 2 tackles in Fleming and Solder. They do, Eric, but do you consider those good tackles? I mean, Nate Solder surrendered the most hits in football last year. Fleming's never been a full-time starter. Do you really trust that duo going into the year? This is what I say to people that are, that say things like that. And everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But my opinion is, do you really trust a swing tackle and Nate Solder to be your 2 tackles going into your quarterback's 2nd year in a brand new offense, a year coming off of which Nate Solder was one of the 2 tackles that surrendered the most quarterback hits in football? Doesn't make sense to me. We have to improve that offensive line. We have to take an offensive lineman early in this draft. If it's not in the 1st, it's definitely got to be in the 2nd. Got to get young at that tackle spot. How will the Redskins fill the void at cornerback? I'm starting to see mocks with the Redskins taking Okudah. I don't see it. I honestly don't see it. I don't see them taking Okudah. I think they're going to take Chase Young. They could draft a corner in the 2nd round, but I think they're going Chase Young. I'm standing by that. Maybe a slight possibility they take Tua. I don't see them taking Okudah over Chase Young. The only way they could take Okudah is if they were to trade down. If the Dolphins traded up to take 2 to get Tua, and then they fell to 5, then obviously they could take Okudah. If we take Willie Gay in the 4th, Detroit Pride in the 5th, we can have Gay Pride. Listen, man. I like Pride. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I like Pride. I think he could be a good slot corner. And he's a former teammate of Love, so I think he could be a good target in the 4th round potentially. We could definitely use a slot, bring some versatility to that secondary. We could use a free safety as well. In terms of the secondary, I think that's what you're looking at. What do you think about the James Bradberry video? Are you talking about the interview? I'm a fan of James Bradberry. I thought it was a good signing from the start. I was kind of curious to get your guys' take when I made the video. When I first heard we were interested in James Bradberry, I was not a fan because I thought he was going to require a 5-year deal. But James Bradberry is a good corner. Is he great? No, but to get he's very good on a 3-year deal. To me, was a home run. We needed veteran leadership in that secondary. I'm a fan of Bradberry. I think Bradberry's going to be a good giant. I think he's going to be a good mentor. And he's going to help out DeAndre Baker a lot because now Baker's not going to have to guard the number 1 threat. You're going to be able to move them around differently. I like the move. I think it was a really good signing, Bradberry. Let's see what we got here. What's going on there, John Letourneau? He says, the entertainer, if the Giants don't fix the O-line this season, how will it affect the Giants contending and also Barkley's career? Well, that's what you got to ask yourself if you're a Giants fan, John. That's what, and man, OG Armor, thank you so much. Let me just respond to John's comment, though. That's what you got to ask yourself if you're a Giants fan. This is just my theory, and this is what I love about my channel. I said it in my video. Everybody respects everybody's opinion. There's no need to call somebody stupid if they think Simmons, because you could definitely argue both ways. But the way I look at it is our football team right now is a house. Right now we have a leaky roof, and that's the offensive line. Do you wait another year and continue to, get a patch it up, or do you want to fix the roof? Or do you want to get a brand new kitchen? That's what Simmons is. I think the roof is the more important part of the house. I want to fix the roof as soon as possible for a young quarterback and a young running back. That's just my opinion. But both would be very important. OGR, thank you so much, man, for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. And he says, unfortunately, Tana, I think a lot of Giants fans want Fleming and Solder because they view the defense as the only problem, but protecting Jones is the number 1 priority this draft. OGR, man, like I said, we think very much alike. I keep saying, we're not going to fix this whole team in 1 year. The defense, the offensive line, I definitely think we need to put more focus on the defense. I think in terms of our weaponry, we're good to go for the most part. Yeah, we could use another top-tier wide receiver, but running back, quarterback, we're good. But the offensive line is horrible. And for a young quarterback and a young running back that you're trying to build a team around, I do think that they need to pay a lot of attention there. I will not change my opinion on that. But Isaiah Simmons would certainly help out the defense. And we'll see, and the other thing you got to look at, if you're a defensive guy, if you're saying we have to go defense, if you fix the offensive line this year, you don't got to worry about it next year. Then we go defense all day. But I don't think that that both problems will be fixed in one offseason. I just don't think it's feasible. But thank you so much, Philip, man. I really appreciate that. And a $2 donation from Erica Steele. He says, what do you think about this? What do you think about the Steelers' biggest needs? Erica Steele, man, I appreciate the love, man. The Steelers' biggest needs? I mean, for one, you need a quarterback. Roethlisberger's getting up there in age. So I would say that's your biggest need. One guy that I think would be an interesting fit there is Winston. I said that. I think that's a really good fit. He could learn under Roethlisberger for a year. One thing I respect about the Steelers, I always say very positive things about that organization in terms of the way they build a football team. And you guys will get it right. You guys draft well. You draft the players you're supposed to draft. You do not overspend in free agency. I think the Steelers are the model franchise in terms of the way they build a football team. So I wouldn't be too worried, man. You guys draft properly. You guys were kind of ahead of the curve on the drafting of early, first-round linebackers. And now I think teams are starting to catch up with that. But the Steelers are a very smart organization. I wouldn't be worried if I was a Steelers fan. Zeke, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, what do you think of Dave Gettleman's team-building approach? To me, it seems like he is behind other teams that are in rebuild, Miami, Cards, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so you're asking about the rebuild. Okay, Zeke, I completely get where you're going. And what I'll say about the Dolphins are very smart. The Dolphins completely blew it up last year. They got all these first-round draft picks. They were smart. I'll be the first to say it. They also, if we're being fair, got their new coach last year, who I think has a bright future with them in Flores, and hopefully Joe Judge brings the same to the New York Giants. I really only view this, like I've said, as the second year of the rebuild. The first year we weren't rebuilding. And you could put the fault on Dave Gettleman, or you could put the fault on Mara. And we'll never know. It's up for interpretation. My personal opinion is I think Mara forced them to keep Eli Manning. I think he wanted a head coach and a general manager that was willing to give Eli Manning another year. So if that's what I truly believe, I can't really put that on Gettleman. So I'm going to judge the rebuild starting last year. You got your quarterback last year. When you drafted Saquon Barkley, that was a win-now move. You could definitely argue that was a mistake. But I view this as the second year of the rebuild. I think you could be very harsh on Gettleman after this year if you don't see significant improvement. I will be completely fair in that. And it doesn't even necessarily equate to wins. Like I've said, it equates to the team just playing better in general. After the following season, if they're not in playoff contention, Gettleman's gone. And if they win 3 or 4 games this year, I think Gettleman's gone too. I think the Giants have to win at least 6 games, and they have to show dramatic improvement. Because like I said, with their really hard schedule, if they win 6 games, they could be a much better team than they were last year. They have a very tough schedule this year. I want at least 7 or 8, but I'm not going to put a win total on the season in the way that I judge whether or not Gettleman should be back. I'm going to judge it based on his draft. I'm going to judge it based on the way this coaching staff performs and the way that the free agents we brought in perform. That's my personal opinion on it. But yeah, I mean, you can certainly get on Gettleman. Gettleman doesn't. The Leonard Williams trade was horrible. I'll be the first to say that. I cannot defend him on that trade. But we gotta let it play out at least for this year, in my opinion, before we come to a conclusion of the job that he's done. I think he inherited a really bad situation, and I think that needs to be taken into account as well. But thanks so much for the love, man. I really appreciate that. Let's see what we got here. What did I just hit? 1 second. Let's see. Word, man. Thanks so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, could give all the benefits of drafting a... Could you... I don't know if you're asking, could you give all the benefits of drafting an offensive tackle at 4? If that's what you're asking, Word, and thank you for the love. I mean, the main benefit is we're old on the offensive line. So first off, we need to get younger. But the most obvious benefit is you got a second-year quarterback with arguably one of the worst offensive lines in the sport, especially after you lost Remmers. You got 2 and a future third hole with, more than likely Solder being off the team soon. You need to improve that offensive line, and you need to, pay heavy focus to it. I don't think they paid enough focus to it in free agency, probably because they plan to spend a lot of their draft assets on the offensive line in the draft. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think for a young quarterback, you need to have a good offensive line for any quarterback, but especially a young one. You want to get them off on the right foot, and it's something that the Giants have not addressed in forever. But either way, like I said, Simmons would definitely help the defense as well. Oh man, thank you. Sith Lord Dento with the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, I love all the offseason so far. I would trade Ingram and let Williams walk. Keep up the good work from UK Giants fan. I really appreciate that, man. I got so many great subscribers from overseas, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And yeah, man, I'm going to try, man. I didn't make a video today because, like I said, there wasn't a lot to talk about. I'll definitely try to make one tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be something, and I'll come up with an idea about the draft and stuff like that. But I really appreciate that, and I'm completely with you on Ingram if the right deal presents itself for sure. And I would not be opposed to letting Williams walk either. I don't think he's worth the $17 million. If you could use the money better elsewhere, by all means. If you can't, then you keep him for a year. But I wouldn't be against that either, depending on the circumstance. Zion, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, Isaiah Simmons you're talking about. Simmons is special. In the second round, that bad, no O-line will drop. It depends on what you view as an O-lineman that will drop. I don't think one of the top 4 are going to drop. Now, do you think Austin Jackson is on par with those guys or close to on par? If you do, maybe you go Simmons. It's going to come down. That's what I've said all along. It's going to come down to what Gettleman believes. I really equate this to the same exact situation that the New York Giants and Dave Gettleman had in 2018. In 2018, the New York Giants had a clear need, and that was the quarterback position. I think Gettleman and the New York Giants evaluated the quarterbacks, and they didn't view any of them as a franchise quarterback, which is why they elected to go with Saquon Barkley. That's just my opinion. Because if they viewed, Josh Darnold, Rosen, any of those guys as a franchise guy, they would have taken him. And they proved that the following draft. They could have taken a premier pass rusher, but they viewed Daniel Jones as a franchise guy, so they took him. In this draft, in my opinion, if they view one of these tackles as a franchise tackle, I think they're going to take the tackle. If they don't, and they view him as good, but not necessarily a guy that they know is going to be an elite talent, they'll probably go Isaiah Simmons. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. But thanks so much, Philip, man. I really appreciate it. And let's see what we got here. Gordon Gettleman, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, stand up. He says, save the edge rusher money until next year and see how we do. If we need an upgrade, get Myles Garrett. Thank you, all the medical workers worldwide. That 100%, Gordon, on the medical workers. They're doing God's work out there right now. But as far as, we'll see if Myles Garrett hits the open market. I'm not sure if he will or won't, but there's definitely going to be an edge rusher they could add next year. I know that Ingram from the Chargers as well as Bosa are both set to free agency. Hopefully one of them hits the market. There'll be guys out there for the Giants to potentially sign, along with all the guys that were franchise tagged this year that will more than likely become free agents next year. So there'll be somebody there if the Giants want to spend the free agency at that position next year. Make no mistake about it. If they feel like they're more in win now mode. And, oh, man, Malik, man, one of my best, man. $5 donation says, best case scenario, 8 wins, which probably wins our division, thankfully, and trade down and get a roof and kitchen. There you go. By the way, let's go, Big Blue. DJ should have been Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. DJ, I mean, I'll tell you this. If Kyler Murray won it, you could definitely argue that DJ should have won it. I thought DJ had a better year than him. I would have went with the running back from Oakland, but in terms of the quarterback, I think you certainly could argue Daniel Jones over Kyler Murray, and I'm not being biased. But yeah, man, I would love to get the roof and kitchen. I want to get the roof. I want to get the kitchen. I want to get the bed. I want to get the whole house. Might take 2 or 3 years, but I want the whole house. But yeah, if you could trade down and get both the roof and kitchen, let's go, Malik. Let's get it done. Let's see what we got here. Plus, we will have a lot of money next year. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of money, Lloyd. We're going to have a lot of money in cap space next year. At least $100 million, especially after we cut Solder, or right around $100 million. So, yeah, and then, like I've said all along, that's when you start to think about the future as well with players on your team. You might look to extend Saquon Barkley, which is probably only going to hit your cap by an additional $8 million or so. Maybe 9, because Barkley's set to make 10. If you extend him, you figure 18 or 19 per year, so it would be an $8 or $9 million increase. So there's things they could do next year to try to, sew up the future. And it'll be interesting to see what they do in year 2. I'm going to do a video on that, but I'm waiting until after the draft to talk about what I would do with the available cap space and what roster cuts I would make and kind of just look over the, I'm not going to tell you who we're going to get because there's no way I'm not going to know who's going to sign extensions, who's going to be friends, but just take a look at it and look at the potential players that we could target next year and what I think their market value will be. I plan on doing that after the draft, though. Let's see what we got here. Garrett is not we'll never know the whole story with that Big Daddy. That's for sure. Which guy do you think has the most upside from this year's draft? I think Chase Young's the best player. I think Chase Young's the best player in this year's draft. In terms of the quarterback position, I think Joe Burrow. When I watched that guy on film, I did the film breakdown of Simmons. Joe Burrow, man, that guy is incredible. Some of the throws that guy's ever able to make, he has really underrated athleticism as well. I'm a fan of a lot of the quarterbacks in this draft. I think Love's got a lot of upside. I think Herbert's could be very good. But in terms of the best player, I think it's Chase Young. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, Joe DeGracia? Thanks for popping in the stream. Check Twitter for the mock draft. I will do it. I think I did. I checked somebody's mock draft today that they posted on Twitter. Do you think Bourne falls to the second? Keep seeing him going in the 20s. I wouldn't bank on it, Adrian. I think it's possible. I think it's possible. I think the Patriots are the best fit for him in terms of a late-round team. Patriots could definitely take him, but I wouldn't be shocked if he falls. I think he's right in that area. But the one guy that I definitely could see the New York Giants taking, 100%, second round if he's there, and I don't know if he's going to be, Gross Matos. And I was thinking about doing a video on this, looking over players that the coaches on this team have coached before. Because obviously that was a theme in free agency. So you would only think they would look to potentially target guys that they've coached in college. So obviously Matos played for our D-line coach. So if Matos is there, I could definitely see the Giants taking him. And I'm going to do a little more research. I'm going to look into some other potential guys that I could see the New York Giants drafting. That may be my video tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. Just some potential guys that I could see having a connection to the coaches on the staff. But Gross Matos, I definitely got my eyes on if he falls in the second. Argenis, man, thanks so much for the love, man. I really appreciate it, man. $5 donation, man. He says, keep an eye on Penny Seway of Oregon for the Giants next year. I'll keep my eye out, man. I'll definitely keep my eye out, man. I appreciate the love, man. Argenis, thank you very much. Mark says, Simmons, Josh Jones, Matt Hennessy, Claypool. Yeah, let's rock and roll with that. You get a guy who a lot of people are starting to say might be creeping into those top 4 offensive tackles with Josh Jones. Obviously, you get your versatile linebacker. Hennessy's a guy I really like who has connections to the Giants. I said that in my mock draft. And Claypool, everybody likes Claypool there with the tall wide receiver. I think most Giant fans would be pretty happy with that top 4. You're filling a lot of needs there. You get a center, you get a tackle, you get your linebacker, and you get that tall threat in the red zone. So yeah, that'd be a pretty good top 4, no doubt about it, man. The mock draft you sent me, I will try my best. I'm trying to answer people's questions, but I will try my best to do it real quick. Let me see. You've got Simmons, Cleveland, Chin. I like Chin. Armstead, Moss. It's a pretty good mock draft. You must have traded down. I don't know why you only have pick number 46. You must have picked up 2 extra second-round picks. You must have traded down in the second. Tana, who are your top 2 AFC and top 2 NFC teams coming into 2020? Top 2 AFC, I mean, you got the Chiefs are still at the top. I'm trying to, I'll go Chiefs, and I'll go, The second team is tough. The second team is tough because I like the Colts, but I can't say they're the second. The Browns are going to be I'll go Ravens. Yeah, I'll go chalk there. I'll go Chiefs and Ravens. In the NFC, I'll go, I think the Packers are going to have a good record because I think their division sucks. So I'm going to go Packers, and I'm still going to go 49ers. I'm going chalk. Slob, man, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. $2 donation says, nah, Mark, J. Wills, Bowen Ruiz, and Tyler Johnson. Again, you're filling the same holes there. You're getting your linebacker, you're getting your 2 linemen. So you're filling the same holes there, just different players. What's going on? I can't pronounce that name. Daly, thanks for popping in the stream. Do you think the Browns are going to be good this year? I think the Browns, Blue Jackets talk, I know you're a Browns fan. I think the Browns this year have no excuses. If they're not good this year, you guys got serious problems because you guys have the makings of a good team. You went out, you got Conklin. I think you're going to draft another tackle in this year's draft. That should shore up what was your biggest weakness. You added Austin Hooper, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the signing. You got weapons all over that offense. We'll see how the defense is, but in terms of offense, Baker Mayfield's got no excuses this year. If Baker Mayfield don't get it done this year, you better start thinking about another quarterback. But I think he will. I think Baker Mayfield will have a pretty nice year this year. What's my take on Becton at 4? Not a fan. I mean, I'm not going to cry about it, because I'm definitely a tackle guy, and I see the appeal to Becton. He's athletic for a man his size. He's got the long arms. He's definitely got a very high ceiling, but I think he's too big of a risk to take at 4. I'm not a fan at 4. I would be a fan if we traded down, but not at 4. If we're taking an offensive lineman at 4, I want it to be a safer prospect. What would you rather out of the last 2 Giants mocks What would you rather out of the last 2 Giants mocks? I'm trying to remember the first one. I got to think back now. Let me see. Let me look over them real quick. First one said Simmons, Jones, Hennessy, and Clay. I like that one a lot. But in the other one, I'm getting the top-tier offensive lineman. It's really close. That's really close, to be completely honest with you. The thing is, here's my answer to it. I'd rather the first one, but Slob and my Broccoli Rob is much more realistic. Because I don't think Jones is getting to us in the second round. Matter of fact, I'd be shocked if he did. I think the only way we would get Jones is to trade back up into the first. And if we did that, we're not getting the other 2 players on his list. So I think I'd rather probably have the first, but I think Slob and my Broccoli Rob is much more realistic. So I'll go with number 2 just because I think that's more realistic of happening. But thank you guys for being here. If you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. What's going on, Oliver? Thanks for popping into the stream. Dana, don't forget Brady is in the NFL. He is. Word. I'm not going to count out the Bucs. They're definitely in contention. What's up, NFL DNA? What's going on, RD? Hey, Chris, I told you we were. Yeah, you guys give up a lot, but it definitely filled a big need for the Bills. They definitely needed that one big playmaker at the wide receiver position. I like what the Bills did this offseason. I don't like all the picks you gave up, but I like what you did. Let's see what we got here. Blake Ferguson. I had him. So my Brock Rob. I had Blake Ferguson mock to the Giants in my mock. Best long snapper in the country. I think that's a guy we could definitely be looking at late in the draft. We need a long snapper. What's up, John? Thanks for popping in the stream. Did you just say select my Brock? Maybe I did. I don't know, Kush. I have no idea. Maybe I did. Sometimes you stumble over your words when you're live. It's possible. You're trying to read the chat. Is the NFL draft getting delayed? From what I heard, no. It's as scheduled, and I heard that about 2 days ago, I think. I think it's the 23rd to the 25th. Still goes on as scheduled. From everything I've read, we're still gonna have the NFL draft on time. What's going on, crazy mofo? What's going on, Paul? Thanks for popping into the stream. Who is the big trade? I don't know what you're talking about. What's up, Mr. Dub? Dolphy says you should never draft a high ceiling, low floor player at a position of need. I agree with you. Not like I said, if we trade down, maybe, but not at 4. I agree with you. What's up, Big Drake? He says Bills were going to the playoffs anyway. Diggs just yeah. I like the Bills. I liked the Bills last year. I like them more this year. I think the Bills are the favorites in the AFC East, but I will not count out the Patriots and my coffee. I do this every time, guys. I might as well just put ice cubes in my coffee before I go live because it's cold coffee, but it's delicious. What do you think? Where do you think Cam Newton's going to go? Oliver says. I think Cam Newton is going to end up, if I had to pick a team right now, I think Cam Newton is going to end up on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just my honest opinion. Oh, man, Alan Batag, man, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate that, man. Alan with the $20 donation, and he's a great supporter of my channel, man. I really appreciate that. All the way from Texas. Everybody, you got a feel for a Giants fan from Texas, so I appreciate the love, man. He says, hey, Chris, how goes it, man? It's going well, man. I thank you for the love, man, and thank you for popping into the stream. I hope everything's going well with you, obviously, with, everything going on. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, man. And hopefully everybody that's just tuning into the stream, hopefully everybody's staying safe. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Like I say, you guys help me just as much as I hope I'm helping you to kind of get a distraction from everything that's going on. So thank you guys for being here. What's going on, Malik Thompson? Malik Thompson loves the emojis. What's up, buddy? Oh, I didn't know you live in Texas, Big Daddy. I didn't know that, man. Let's see what we got here. A lot of New Yorkers move. Yeah, it's cheaper, man. It's cheaper, the Sheik. Let's see what we got here. Will Winston not be... No, Winston's going to be signed. I don't know where. I think Winston's best fit, Drake, is going to be the Steelers. I really do. I think it'd be a really good fit for him. He's kind of similar to Winston. He'd get to sit for a year and take over for Roethlisberger. I think it could make a lot of sense. JJ Trilla, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, y'all do realize Dallas sweeping y'all again. Oh, no. JJ Trilla. JJ Trilla is a great supporter of my channel, but he's a huge Dallas Cowboys troll in a good way, though. We'll see. I'm going to tell you what, Trilla. I think you guys took a step back. I think we got a shot. I think we can pick you off this year. We'll see. I think it's going to be a fun year. I can't wait. Let's see what we got here. I'm a Giants fan from Hawaii. I didn't know Saquon Barkley was from Hawaii. Thanks for popping in the stream, Saquon. Let's see what we got here. No, please, I don't want Winston. You don't want Winston in Pittsburgh? Okay, let's see what we got here. Great page advice. Giants fan from Michigan. What's going on, Master? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Let's see what we got here. I don't hate any team. I just love football. I do hate some owners, Big Daddy says. Yeah, there's definitely some owners I hate, including some owners of my teams, specifically the Knicks and the Mets. I'm a Giants fan stuck in Pakistan. Wow. Yeah, how did you become a Giant fan from Pakistan? Daniel Jeremiah put Becton at 6 for the top 50 prospects of this year's draft. I mean, Joe, Becton's been really high on his list pretty much since the start. I mean, he's the first guy that kind of brought Becton to the attention of New York Giants fans, so I'm not surprised by it. Daniel Jeremiah's been a huge supporter of Mekhi Becton, so I'm not surprised by that. I would not rank him that high. But he definitely has a high ceiling. I will say that. For sure. Giants fan from Michigan. That's awesome, man. Chris, with all the coaches coming out of the Belichick tree, has that not really panned out? I'm really not, John. I know that, the past says that, there hasn't been a lot of success with prior guys that have come under Belichick. I don't read too much into that, if I'm being completely honest. No, I really don't. I think if Judge could coach, he could coach. And from everything I'm seeing so far, I'm at least confident that I think he's going to do a good job. I can't tell you I know, but I think he's going to do a good job. I don't read too much into that. The whole coaching tree thing, I really don't. What's up, Stout? Thanks for popping in the stream. Chris is Pat Summerall and Bad Dog is Buck, yeah. How do you think Joe Judge will do with time management? Chris Gonzalez, that's a really good question, and I actually think he's going to do phenomenal in that department. Because he was a special teams coordinator. Special teams coordinators, I feel like, are very detail-oriented. And that's everything you've heard about Joe Judge. And this guy's got to pay attention to every little thing on the field when he was a special teams coordinator. I think that will actually fare well in terms of in-game decision-making like that. Like his usage of the timeouts, the clock, and everything like that. I think he's going to be really good at that. I could be wrong, but that's my honest opinion. JG's with the $5 donation. He says, I'm in Houston. Stay at home. Hold on one second. I'm in Houston, stay at home, order in effect. Still not. Still no strippers. Chris is getting my lap dance. I appreciate it, man. And, I'm not going to tell you it's paying for my college like I'm sure that those strippers do, man. But I really appreciate the love, man. And hope you're staying safe in Houston. Jay, man, thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate it. Mike Vrabel is the best coach in the Belichick coach. He didn't coach under Belichick, though, did he? I don't think he did. He played for Belichick. I don't think he coached under him, if I'm not mistaken. Darrell Williams was already signed, Dolphy. I forgot where he went, but he was already signed to a very cheap contract. Let's see what we got. You think the Raiders are interested in a quarterback? If so, would you? Yes. Al, I don't know if they're interested in a quarterback, but to the second part of your question, yes. I would trade down for 12 and 19 unless Chase Young was there. But at 12 and 19, I'm still getting a tackle, and I'm still getting an impact defensive player early in the draft. So, yeah, I'd be open for business there. And you'd probably even get maybe a future third or fourth out of it as well. So, yes, I would make that move. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Chris, are your locals? Chris Dobbs, I have no idea. If they, I don't frequent those places, but I would assume that they are. That's probably the last place you want to be right now. I would assume that they are. Jason Peters for 1 year. It's an interesting guy. I mean, on a really cheap deal, but at the end of the day, I think they already got their swing tackle. I think they're going to focus on younger tackles in the draft. I don't think they're looking to bring in more older players. Wouldn't be a horrible idea, though. Hi, Chris from Nevada. Get a cup. I do need a cup warmer. Oh, man, thank you so much, man. JG's with the $5 donation. I want to recommend an evaluation vid on LSU wide receiver Justin Jefferson and determine if he would be a viable option in the second or third round. Okay, I will look into him. I'll definitely. I don't know if I'll do a film review on it, but I'll. Well, I didn't mention him in my wide receiver vid. The thing I'll say about him, JG's, he's definitely not getting to the third. I'd be surprised if he gets to the second. And the one thing I'll say about him, from what I know, he's also, I don't think we're going to get him. Even if he was there, I don't think the Giants are going to take him. If I remember correctly, I don't think he's a very tall wide receiver, and most mocks have him going to the Eagles in the first round. I'd be surprised if he was even there. Definitely won't be in the third. And I don't think he's the type of wide receiver we're looking at, but I'll look into him, man. I'll definitely look into him. Let's see what we got here. Do you think we could beat the Buccaneers with Brady on their team? Any given Sunday, Dean. Yeah. I mean, we beat the Bears when they went 12-4 2 years ago. I mean, yeah, any given Sunday you could beat anybody. I would obviously favor the Bucs. You know, the Bucs right now are a better football team. Hey, Entertain, I have a question. Go ahead, Big Drake. What's the question, man? Cole Kmet, tight end out of Notre Dame. Yeah, well, but I think he's going to go in the first 2 rounds, maybe the third. I don't think the Giants will take a tight end in the first 2 or 3 rounds. If you could, let's see what we got. How do you think Joe Judge will do with the timeout? Yeah, somebody just asked me that. I think you did. Chris Gonzalez, and I answered. I think he's going to do very well with his background as a special teams coach. Let's see what we got here. One, because of the pandemic, no player will work out with teams. So now that teams will only use game tapes and combine, what tackles will drop in round 2? Huh. I mean, I think the top guys are still going where they're going to go. At every position. I don't think it's going to alter. The one player that's definitely affected by this in terms of the early draft picks is clearly Tua. I would say anybody with an injury history that was kind of trying to prove it, regardless of position, those guys could drop. A guy like Julian Okwara, for example. Julian Okwara couldn't really participate at the combine. His stock's probably going to get hurt by this. So any offensive lineman or any position that couldn't really participate to a full capacity at the combine due to an injury, something like that, I think they're going to drop. So there's my answer there. I think it'll affect those players, people that needed to show out at their pro day because they couldn't go, full capacity at the combine, at any one of the individual positions. So yeah, the 2 guys that come to my mind, like I said, were Okwara, because that's a guy I've looked at out of Notre Dame, and Tua. Now, I don't know if Tua is going to drop, but he could because of that. And yeah, I'm sure there's a few other players in the draft. Zach Smith, man, thanks so much for the $5 donation. He says, Tane, I heard reports the Giants are strongly leaning to Isaiah Simmons. So, Zach Smith, I'm assuming that you're talking about, I don't know this for sure, and thank you for the love. I'm assuming you're talking about the report that came out yesterday. I didn't make a video on it. I think it came out from The Athletic. I forget what it was. But basically, from what I gathered, from what I read, it was more so an opinion, more so than them actually gathering information from the New York Giants. That's why I didn't make a video on it. I could be wrong, but if we're talking about the same report, I think that's what you're talking about. But I'm not going to be surprised. Like I've said all along, I'm not going to be surprised if they take Isaiah Simmons. I've heard rumors both ways. I've heard rumors that they're interested in a tackle. I've heard rumors that they're interested in Simmons. And I don't think we're going to find out until draft night. And I don't think what they did in free agency tipped their hand, because they didn't take a coverage linebacker and they didn't really fill in at the offensive tackle spot in a major way. So I don't think free agency tipped the hand. I think they could still go either way. Let's see what we got here. What do you think the Patriots will do with their quarterback issue right now? I mean, from what I've heard, Oliver, in terms of the Patriots, I think they're going to stick with the guy they drafted last year. We'll see. I think Andy Dalton could be a really good fit there. I could see Dalton actually doing pretty well with the Patriots with Bill Belichick in that offense. I don't know if they'll go that route. They could draft a quarterback as well. They could go with Love. I think it's really going to depend on, do they believe in their backup? I think that's what it's going to come down to. And I honestly don't know. But that, they have a lot of ways they could go there at that position. What's up, Carlos? It's Vince. Thanks for popping into the stream. If you could trade for any player right now, who would it be? Try to be reasonable. I mean, the players that are tradable right now, I think, are tagged players. Tag and trades. I think those are the most realistic players. But, I mean, if I was trading for a player, and I wouldn't want to give up. The thing is, I'm not looking to trade right now, because I don't want to give up draft capital, and that's what you're going to have to give up in a trade. But, I mean, if you told me, what type of player would influence this team the most, I'm trying to trade for an elite pass rusher, or I'm trying to trade for an elite offensive tackle, but I don't want to be giving up draft capital either. So I'm at this point in time, if I'm the Giants, I'm honestly not really looking to trade to acquire players. I'm not. I'm still trying to build through the draft. Next year is when I start to make the impact moves. If I draft well this year and I start building that foundation the following year, if there's a player out there that I think could put me over the top, put me in contention, that's when I start to make those moves. But right now, I'm not really looking to make trades, but obviously if I was making a trade, it would be as a pass rusher or an offensive tackle. I think that's what we need more than anything. But thanks so much for the love, man. And what's going on, Pumpkin? Thanks for popping in. Giant Malik, man, thank you so much for the love, man. $5 donation, great subscriber of mine. Hey, Chris, did you watch Brett Coleman video on? Yes, I did. On Jedrick Wills and Tristan Wirfs. He shows who's the better. Yes, and it was a great video. Brett Coleman's phenomenal. That channel is phenomenal. He does a great job there. And the one thing that he kept showing with Tristan Wirfs that I noticed in that video, and he kept pointing it out, was Tristan Wirfs does not stay in front of the defender. He constantly turns to the side, and he loses all of his leverage. And you see it time and time and time again in the film. Jedrick Wills is a more technically skilled tackle at this point in time, and I think he was spot on with that. I like Jedrick Wills. I've mocked Wirfs because I think from what I've read and heard, if you ask me today, I think they favor Wirfs. I could be wrong. But yeah, I like Wills a lot. And that was a great film breakdown. And what do we got here? Thank you so much, man. Giant Steps with the $5 donation. Can you do a video on second-round right tackle prospects? I love Wilson out of Georgia, but Jackson, Cleveland, I will do that. That is one video I need to do. I will definitely do that. It'll be titled something like, if the Giants draft Isaiah Simmons, who are the best tackles that we could be looking at in round 2? I'll definitely be doing a video on that and breaking down what scouts have to say about him and things like that. I don't know if I'm going to have the film like these guys have, because I have NFL Game Pass right now. I don't know if I'm going to have the in-depth film, the zoom in and all that, but I'll definitely break down their strengths and weaknesses for each individual lineman that we could be looking at in the second round. Yes, I will do that video. Thank you very much for love. Darnell, man. What's up, Darnell, man? I hope you're staying safe out there in New York. Great supporter of my channel. Been with me for a while. $5 donation. He says, Chris, do you believe the Giants do any of the three? Draft an O-lineman at 4, draft back and get more picks, or take Simmons at 4. Can you see another? Those are the 4 most logical things to do. And to be completely honest with you, unless Chase Young fell to us, which is not going to happen, in my opinion, I think those are the only 3 options. Anything else would be unacceptable. I think you have to take a tackle, you have to take Simmons, or you have to trade back. I think those are the only 3 options right now, if we're picking at 4. But, I can't say never. Because you look at the Oakland Raiders last year, and, I'm not saying we're the Raiders, but obviously Gettleman's been prone to do what he wants to do. But if you look at the Raiders last year, nobody in their right mind thought they could have taken Farrell at 4, and they did. So, I'll never say never, but those are definitely the 3 most logical options. Thanks so much for the love, man. I really appreciate it. And let's see what we got. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. JJ Trill with the $5 donation. Thanks for love, man. He says McCoy is an upgrade over Collins. So is I like those two. Those are two good pickups for you guys. Clinton Dix is an upgrade over Heath. He is, and Gregory is better than Quinn. We can take a shutdown DB at 17. We'll see. I don't know if Gregory's an upgrade over Quinn. Quinn was really good for you guys last year, but I did credit the Cowboys in my NFC East breakdown. I think for the limited resources you had in free agency, I think you did a good job. I think Clinton Dix was a good signing. I think it was only $4 million a year. And I think McCoy was a good signing, only $6 million a year on a 3-year deal. So you guys lost some major pieces, but you definitely did as good of a job as you could have filling them. Now, do I think a rookie corner is going to replace Byron Jones in his first year? No. But if you get a guy like C.J. Henderson, I think he could evolve into being a very good corner. The Cowboys will still be competitive. But if you ask me right now, I would say they're probably going to take a slight step back. I could be wrong. Thanks for love, man. I really appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. Man, Rob, what's up, Rob, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Rob, great supporter of mine. $5 donation. He says, don't be shocked if we get Okudah in round 1. Bookend corners. You never know. And I was open to the possibility of taking Okudah before obviously we signed Bradbury. I talked about that in several of my videos. I do think Okudah is going to be a very good player, and I do think it's incredibly valuable to have a top-tier corner. If they were to do that, which I don't think they're going to, it would allow you to maybe put Baker in the slot, put Baker at the safety position, which people have talked about. I don't see it happening, especially if we did not sign a top-tier corner, I'd agree that Okudah is a reasonable possibility. Because we signed Bradbury, I would be surprised. I'd be maybe less surprised than if we took Brown or if we took a wide receiver, but I'd still be surprised. But thanks so much for love, man. I really appreciate it, man. Will we draft Gandy Golden? Bradley asks. Only way we're drafting Gandy Golden is if it's in the fourth round probably, because I don't think he's getting past the fourth. But if he's there in the fourth, yeah, it's a possibility. I think they're going to take a wide receiver between their third and fifth round pick. So if he's there in that range, the back end of the third, the early fourth, and they're going wide receiver and they prefer him to somebody else, they could go with Gandy Golden. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Let's see what we got here. Chris, do you think the Giants should target Joey Bosa? Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely going to be a potential target for them. He's one of the better edge rushers in the sport. And next year's edge rusher market should be pretty good, because you look at all these edge rushers that were franchise tagged this year, I doubt they're going to get franchise tagged a second time. Plus, next year's free agency crop is going to be crazy, because you're going to have so many players that are going to want to hit the open market with the increased budget. There's going to be players to be had for the New York Giants. And I'm not too worried about it. I think they'll be able to bring in an impact player or two if they feel the need to do so in free agency next year. And maybe Bosa will be that guy. I definitely think they're going to attack the edge rusher. I really do. Because I don't think they're going to get a supreme edge rusher in this draft now. Unless, obviously, they get Young. Which, like I said, I don't think is going to happen. So, if you ask me right now, I think they're going to attack an edge rusher in next year's free agency class. Whether that's Bosa or not, I don't know. But I definitely could see them doing that, for sure. Let's see what we got. Giants will have a good team this year. I think they're going to be improved, Luan. I'll say that. The coaching staff alone and the younger players will get better. Let's see what we got here. Out of all the first picks in the draft, who were not bust and had long, good careers, Clowney maybe is the most overrated first pick ever, Pumpkin says. I'd have to think about that. Obviously, you specified there are a lot of first overall picks that did nothing, but I think you're talking about guys that some people portray as a really good player that you think is possibly overrated. I mean, he's not an elite player. I'll say that. He's not an elite pass rusher, and he probably didn't warrant that number 1 overall selection. I still think he's a very good player, but yeah, you could definitely argue that he's overrated. I will not disagree there. Malik, man, thanks so much for the love, man. $2 donation. He says, Chase Claypool, next Megatron, Randy Moss, Plaxico, Burris. Malik, I like Chase Claypool. Let's calm down a little bit. A little bit, Malik. But I do think he's very good. Burris was 6'6". Claypool's 6'4". I actually think Claypool is very similar to Evan Ingram. I know that Ingram's a tight end, but a lot of people were talking about shifting Claypool to the tight end. They are literally the same size. They're both about 6'4", 240. They both run like the wind for a man of that size. I think they're very similar in that aspect. I think Evan Ingram's a good comparison, and maybe Claypool who could actually stay healthy. But I don't know about Megatron. I don't know about Megatron. Did someone say Claypool? The Sheik says I'm going to sleep. Can we beat the? I have a feeling Bosa gets tagged because he won't sign the contract and refuses to report or sign it. He might. The tag's going to be expensive next year with the increased salary cap, but I think him and Ingram are both free agents, so they'll only be able to tag one of them. Would you think we trade Ingram and Tomlinson? Do I think we're going to trade both? No, probably not. Do I think we could trade one? Yes. If we trade both, one of them will be within season. I don't think both will be preseason. It's possible we trade one before the draft. Why can't I send money while I'm overseas? I have no idea, but I appreciate the thought, Sheik, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. Giants will make Ingram a wide receiver. I don't think they're going to make him a full-time wide receiver, but I do think you'll see him lined up more on the outside in this system from what I've read. I will agree there. I don't think they're going to make him a full-time wide receiver. Rudy T in the house. Hey, Chris, just got out of work. Thanks for streaming tonight. Thank you for being here, Nikki. Barboski's in the house, too. What's up, Barboski? His favorite Giants player of all time. I got Eli to Oh, yeah. Eli to Manningham's the greatest Giants player ever. You could argue, and I'll get into that in a second. I just want to see what Rudy said. Tana, what's good, brother? I'm more excited about our new coaching staff than any specific player. Do you think John Mara will be more or less hands-on during this offseason? That's a really good question. Mara actually said, well, actually I think it was Tish that said he wanted to be more involved with the team this year. So maybe they'll be. I think they're going to let Judge do what Judge does. I think that's clearly evident. I think it's a collaboration. All these players they brought in are not strictly Gettleman decisions, and I think that's the way to go. I think you want to be in agreement with your coaching staff, especially being that Joe Judge is the future of this team. We hopes that head coach for the next 15, 20 years. You want to make sure he's comfortable with the players they're bringing in. So I like what the New York Giants have done this offseason. Yeah, I think Judge and Gettleman are gonna have the power. But as far as Barboski said, yeah, I mean you could make an argument based on situation and everything else that throw to Mario Manningham might be the greatest play in the history of the NFL. That's how great of a play that was. In the Super Bowl, last drive of the game, to throw that ball, that was incredible. That play's incredible. I get goosebumps thinking about it. Who would be a trade shooter for Ingram and for what? A lot of teams. But like I said, I think it's going to happen within season. Patriots are the first team that popped in my head. They frequently rely on the tight end position. But a lot of teams. This is not a rich tight end draft. So that's even more of a reason why it may make sense to trade him. Do you think we rescind the tag on Williams' depth at tackle and go after Clowney? I do not think we're going to go after Clowney. I'd be surprised, but, I've been surprised before. I could see us rescinding the tag. I think they're going to try to work out a long-term contract, and if they can't do it, I wouldn't rule it out. He's done it before, like I said yesterday with Bradbury. I wouldn't rule it out. I think Gettleman tagged him, hoping that he could work out a deal before the season starts. I want a second for Ingram. LaMelo, I would want a second too. I don't think we're going to get that, though. I'd be surprised if we get a second based on the fact that he's still in a walking boot. You may get a second mid-season, possibly. Not before the season starts. Giants got Eric Tomlinson. Yeah, so it's a depth signing. I don't think he's going to have much of an impact on the team, being that we already have a lot of tight ends to begin with. We signed a bunch. We got Ingram coming back, Caden Smith coming back. So, obviously we signed Toifolo. We'll see if he makes the team. We actually signed him last year. For those of you guys that don't know, he was with the Jets for a while. I remember making that video last year in the offseason. Didn't make the roster, but he's known to be a blocker. So I think that's the thinking there with the Giants. What's up, Jacob, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Second for Ingram, then he breaks out. Not bad. I don't think we're getting a second for Ingram. I'd be shocked. The Giants got Fleming Kristaps. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to start, but we got him. Hearing the Giants are pursuing Logan Ryan. Any truth that I have not heard that, Gideon? But that is something I'll look into. Where'd you hear that? I have not heard that, but yeah, I'll look into it after the stream. But Logan Ryan, for the right price, maybe his market's lower than people suspected. Maybe get a nice slot corner there. I doubt it though. Very much doubt it. Can we beat the Ravens? Probably not, if I'm being honest. Gates at center. I've heard the Giants are going to try him out there. We'll see if that's the case. He obviously played, fairly well as a right tackle last year, the last 3 games of the year. All right, PFT. All right, I'll check it out after the stream, man. 370 people in here and only 70 likes. Kush, man, let's spike that like, guys. I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you guys for all your support. Favorite draft pick from the last 2. Hakeem, based on value, it's hard not to say Daniel Jones. I mean, not Daniel Jones, rather. I'm thinking quarterback. Darius Slayton. Based on value, Darius Slayton. I like Daniel Jones though a lot. I like a lot of the guys they drafted. But based on value, it's hard not to say Darius Slayton. I mean, you got a guy who I think is definitely capable of being a top 20 wide receiver in the league for a 5th round pick. So based on value, I think you got to go Darius Slayton. But I've liked a lot of the picks. I still like Lorenzo Carter. I still think Lorenzo Carter could be good. I like Julian Love. I still like Hernandez. I think Hernandez is going to get better this year. I like Barkley. Obviously, I would have preferred to trade down. We've talked about that. But I like Barkley, the player. I like a lot of their picks. I've liked a lot of the picks the New York Giants have had in the last 2 drafts. What's up, MH? Thanks for popping in this. Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, DeAndre Baker, I think, is going to take a step forward this year. Malik with the $5 donation. I appreciate it, man. He says, Chris, in your opinion, how long do you think we'll be back in the Super Bowl? And I think Lawrence Taylor was the greatest player. Yes, it was the greatest throw. Oh, Lawrence Taylor is definitely the greatest player in New York Giants history. Lawrence Taylor might be the greatest player in football history. I don't even think it's a debate that he's the greatest defensive player in football history. Some people may debate it. Maybe I'm biased. I'm a Giants fan. But, yeah, he's definitely the greatest Giant ever. And how long do I think we'll be back in the Super Bowl? Football's a funny game. You know, and it takes a lot of luck to get to a Super Bowl. I don't care how good you are. You have to get the bounces, things like that. How long do I think it's going to be until we can make the playoffs? I think 2 years. Not this year, the following year. And if you make the playoffs, anything could happen. We made the Super Bowl with a 9-7 team and a 10-6 team. But if you're asking me a consistent Super Bowl contender year in and year out, you're probably looking at 3 or 4 years. But if you make the playoffs, anything could happen. So I think we could definitely be a playoff contender after this year. And I hope we make it this year. But definitely after this year, I think we could definitely be a playoff contender. In terms of getting to the point where I think we'll be a consistent, really good team, if everything works out, 3, maybe 4 years, but we're getting in the right direction, and hopefully we continue to draft well. Let's see what we got here. We going to the playoffs at 12. I hope so, Big Daddy. I love the confidence, man. What's going on there, Bad Dog? If you guys have not gone over to Bad Dog Sports, go on over to Bad Dog. Go subscribe to his channel. He'll be on the channel on Friday for Talking Giants. And he says, well, what do we have here? NFL Scout says Simmons is the pick. I read that, AJ Nix. I didn't make a video on it, not because I'm upset about it. I wouldn't be upset about it at all. It seemed as if it was more opinion-based than anything else, not facts. It didn't say that they talked to anybody, connected to the Giants or anything like that. It just seemed as if that was the opinion. That's why I didn't make a video on it. I almost did. But I was like, you know what? It doesn't seem concrete to me, so I elected not to do it. They definitely could take Simmons. They go offensive tackle, they go Simmons. Malik said, let's see what we got here. Tell Chris your Eagle. Oh, I was in there for a little bit there, Chris Stops, last night. Question, Entertainer. What do we got here with the new tight end? I mean, we got a lot of new tight ends. If you're talking about the tight end we got today, I mean, we had him last year. We signed him last year from the Jets. He's a blocker. He's nothing more than that. He's a guy that may not, probably, there's a good chance he doesn't even make the 53-man team, 53-man roster, but he's a blocker. If he does make the team, he's a guy that, they're going to use in 2 tight end sets, things like that. He's not going to be catching passes. Let's see what we got here. Just for fun, which team would you want to verse the Giants in the next Super Bowl? I mean, the Patriots. I mean, we've won the last 2 against them. Let's make it a trifecta. But if I had to pick somebody, I do not want to verse Mahomes. I mean, you could have a 50-point lead on the Chiefs, and I wouldn't feel comfortable. So I don't want to face the Chiefs. I'd feel completely stressed that entire Super Bowl. I would say the Patriots. But if I had to pick another team, I don't know, Ravens. I don't know, but I'd say the Patriots. Let's make it a trifecta. Let's see what we got here. What's up? How are you? Any centers you like? Any centers I like? Yeah, there's a ton. Biadish, Ruiz, Cushenberry. Those are probably the top 3. Let's see what we got here. Patch, we stay. Let's keep beating the cheaters. Exactly. Giants to the Patriots scrimmage. How much cap space do we have left? Like $6 million. It says on the website $12 million on SportTrack, but it wasn't incorporating like the 3 or 4 most recent signings, which are all going to be like in the $1 to $2 million range. So we got like $5 or $6 million. But that's after draft expenses. I made a mistake on my video. I said it was before draft expenses. A couple of guys corrected me on that. They were right. That's after draft expenses. So if we were to say rescind the tag, we would have about 22, 23. in cap space, but right now we don't have much. We got like $5 million. Let's see what we got here. Let's hear two bold predictions. Okay, 2 bold predictions. All right. I don't know how bold it is. I think Saquon Barkley is going to lead the league in scrimmage yards. I don't really view that as a bold prediction. But if you consider that a bold prediction, I think Saquon Barkley is going to lead the league in scrimmage yards. And I think Darius Slayton is going to have over almost 1,100 yards, between 1,000 with 1,100 yards and 8 or 9 touchdowns. On the defensive side, the guys that I really like this year, I think Zimenez could be in the 8 to 10 sack range. I think he could have a really nice year this year, especially if he gets more playing time. I think Zimenez actually fits this philosophy very well. And I'll say DeAndre Baker's going to have a really strong season. I'm not going to put statistics on it because it's very hard to judge a cornerback based on stats. Tackles, you kind of don't want your corner getting tackles. That means the guy's catching the ball. And I don't know how many picks he's going to get, but I think DeAndre Baker's going to take a big step forward this year. I think he's going to have a strong season. So there's some of my, bold predictions. Let's see what we got here. You're drunk as a baboon pod. What's going on there, Joe Lutz? Hope you're staying safe out there. What's going on, Alex Sports? Thanks for being here, man. Favorite food to eat during a G-Men game? Mine's got to be the sausage and the peppers. Hakeem says sausage and peppers is terrific. Yeah, I mean, I like brats. I like the sausage and the peppers. If I'm tailgating, good old-fashioned hot dog can never go wrong with mustard, sauerkraut, relish. Traditional burger, traditional barbecue food for sure. Danny Dimes 40 touchdowns. Now that is bold, Peter. That is bold. If he gets 40 touchdowns, I'll be very happy on draft night. Johnny Morawski, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation, and I hope you're doing well in Vegas. I hope you're staying safe there. One of my best. He says, if the Giants improve the O-line, they won't win 7 games. We have maybe the worst O-line if the Giants don't improve the O-line, they won't win. That's one thing I love about Johnny Morawski. Him and me are lockstep on the offensive line. He is a huge hog molly guy. I agree with you. There is no way. Here's my bold take. I agree with him. If we do not draft, I don't care where the guy's drafted. I don't care if he's drafted in the 5th round. I don't care if he's drafted in the 3rd round, the 1st round. If we do not draft an impact tackle for this year's team in this year's draft, we're not winning more than 6 games. We probably will only win 5. I agree with him there. There's my other bold take. Whether it's a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 7th round tackle, if it is not a high impact tackle, a guy that makes a difference on that offensive line, we're not winning more than 5 games. I'm with you on that, Johnny. How did you feel about the Eagles' comeback against the Giants in 2010? I mean, I hate the Eagles. I was at a bar for that. It was horrible. I was miserable. I missed the 4-3 Giants NASCAR package. You and me both. I used to love the NASCAR package. Yeah, with Kiwanuka and obviously OC and Tuck and Strahan and JPP and it was great when you had the 4 edge rushers on the field at the same time. Let's see what we got here. Fix the O-line and we go to the play. We got a shot. Chris, my Eagles are keeping Ertz this year. Do you think that's our GM or because Wentz and Ertz's connection? I mean, Ertz is still a really good player for you guys. I don't know the specificities. I don't know if it's going to be, is it a one-year extension or is it a multi-year extension? I would not give him a multi-year extension because you guys drafted Dallas Goedert. I don't see the point in paying 2 tight ends a lot of money for the foreseeable future. But if you guys are trying to compete this year, I mean, you definitely are. You're the favorites going into the year as far as I'm concerned in the NFC East. So I don't see any problem with bringing Ertz back for one more year. You guys are cap hell anyway, but I wouldn't want to give him a 3 or 4 year extension. Let's see what we got here. Giants predicted record in 2020. To be completely fair, I got to wait till after the draft to give my real honest prediction. Not just for the Giants, but for everybody else. And then I'll evaluate the schedule and I'll see. But right now, 6 or 7, maybe 8 wins if you ask me. But to give a real fair evaluation, I got to wait till after the draft. I really got to wait till preseason. There could be injuries in the offseason, things like that. But I got to see who the teams in our division and on our schedule, who they draft, things of that nature. Which team? The schedule hasn't come out yet in terms of the order. We know who we're playing and where we're playing. We don't know the order yet. Who could we trade down with? There's a number of teams. Not nearly as many as there was, but the Dolphins, the Chargers, the Jaguars, and the Raiders, I guess, are a slight possibility. Those are really the only 4 teams I can see us trading down with. Malik, man, thanks so much for the love, man. I really appreciate that. He says, Chris, did you see Bad Dog's reaction video versus Atlanta? Yeah, I saw that. I was dying laughing. Run the ball. He looked like me when we passed up on Josh Allen last year. Yeah, I saw the reaction. Winfield Jr. Yeah, actually, I did a podcast today. I hopped on Fireside Giants channel today. They got a great show channel over there. I had a lot of fun. Mike Too Nice joined their channel, and we talked about him. So whenever they drop that podcast, you'll hear us talk about him. But they're big fans of him in round 2, and he's a free safety. He's a guy that we could use. I'm not a safety guy in round 2, but I'm not going to be upset about it. I definitely think it's a need that we have. But yeah, we talked about him in the podcast, so you'll hear our thoughts on him when they drop it on their channel. But yeah, he's a good player, good instincts. Tell us your Instagram story. What happened? Somebody hacked my account. There's not much else to tell. Let's see what we got here. I can't believe Clowney is still on the... Yeah, he's not. People don't think he's worth the price. That's the thing. Who do you hate more, Cowboys or the Eagles? What's up, Zachary? Thanks for popping in the stream. That really depends on the time period. When I was growing up and I was in elementary school, between I was born in 85. So between 90 and 96, I hated the Cowboys. The Cowboys were the cream of the crop. I'm a Giants fan. I hated it. But in more recent history, in my adulthood, it's got to be the Eagles. We've had some success first. The Cowboys, we can't beat the Eagles. So, since I've been a grown-up, I definitely hate the Eagles more than the Cowboys. I hate both of them, but I hate the Eagles more than the Cowboys. Let's see what we got here. No. Do we sign Golden or get Chase Young? We're not getting... A lot of people are talking about Chase. I don't really even view Chase Young as a legitimate possibility. I'd be shocked if we get Chase Young. We have a better chance of signing Golden than getting Chase Young. JG's, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, I'd trade some lightly used jock straps, dirty Gatorade coolers, and muddy tackling dummies to get back Eric Flowers, Ron Dane, and Eli Apple. Those are some of the worst draft picks in New York Giant history. Flowers and Apple, obviously more recently. Ron Dane was a complete bust, too, out of Wisconsin. Probably one of the best college players in my lifetime. He was fantastic. I remember, growing up as a kid, Ron Dane was awesome. In college, he got here. He was bad. But I would say that definitely Flowers and Apple were worse. At least Dane was part of a Super Bowl team, right? In 2000, they didn't win, but they got there. But yeah, all 3 of those were really bad busts for the Giants, for sure. But thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate that, man. What would your reaction be if we take Becton over Chase Young? Not happy, Ezra. Not happy. I'm not going to be happy if we take anybody over Chase Young. If we take a tackle, I'm not going to cry if we take a tackle because I think we desperately need one, but you got to take Chase Young. JG's, man, $2 donation. He says, first ballot bums. Yes, first ballot bums is right. And Apple, you hit the nail on the head, man. Apple and Flowers are the reasons why Jerry Reese is unemployed. If Jerry Reese hits on those 2 picks, we're talking differently right now. If he drafts T.J. Watt instead of Evan Ingram, we're talking differently right now. So, obviously, those 2 picks, I think, sealed. Odell Beckham kept him around, but those 2 players sealed his fate. Let's see what we got here. If Simmons Okudah won't be available at 4 and we won't be able to trade down or equivalent value, would you draft Derek Brown? Let's ignore the OTs in this one. Well, first off, the only way what you just said is possible, because Burrow's going 1. So the only way that Simmons and Okudah are gone means Chase Young's available. So I'm not thinking Derek Brown. I'm running up to the stage or wherever, the computer screen, and I'm taking Chase Young. The Giants are picking 4th. So Burrow's going 1. If Okudah and Simmons were gone, that means we're getting Chase Young. Derek Brown is not even on my mind. So, no. And Gordon Gaggo, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. He says, what's up, Bad Dog? Chris, list in order of worst to first the NFC East teams in bad contract and player positions. Dak on tag, Haskins' is future, Eagles cap. Okay, as far as the it's future, we're talking future here. Right now, if I'm being completely honest, in terms of cap flexibility, Redskins have the best situation. Redskins have $130 million in cap space, but we don't know their quarterback right now. So, we'll have to wait and see if they draft Tua, and we'll have to see if they don't, if Haskins takes a step forward. So in the quarterback department, the Redskins are in the worst position out of anybody in this division. But in the cap spot, they're in the best. So they're kind of mixed for me. The Cowboys, I still think, are in a pretty solid situation because they were smart with their contracts early on. They signed Frederick to an 8-year deal early on. That contract looks like a genius right now because they got him to like 2023 on a $13 million rate. So that was a really bad signing there early on for him. The Cowboys are set up very nicely in terms of their contracts. They don't have a lot of cap space, but that's because they've retained the players on their team. But it's going to be interesting in 2 or 3 years because you're going to start to see them lose some of these guys that they've drafted well over the last couple of years. Their linebackers, guys like Van Der Esch maybe, so players like that. And Jalen Smith was the guy that I meant to say, by the way. I don't know if I said Frederick, that they signed to that 8-year contract. But the Cowboys are in decent shape. The Eagles, I don't care what any Eagle fan tells me. I don't care if they have the best magician on the planet in terms of Howie Roseman. The Eagles' cap situation is god-awful. It is god-awful. No other way to shape it. They have no flexibility. They can't cut anybody. The only 2 guys they could cut is gonna create 2 huge holes in their wide receiver core, and that's Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson. And that's still only going to save you $13 million on a cap that's right now at 20 with the increased cap rate. So that would give you $33 million. The draft expenses go up next year. You're talking about an expense of $15 million. It gives you $18 million to spend. And they can't cut anybody else. So the Eagles are not in good financial shape. And Wentz's contract is just getting started. And they backloaded it. So I do not like the Eagles' future in terms of cap flexibility. In terms of this year, I think the Eagles are the best team in the division if Wentz can stay healthy. The Giants, it's all going to come down to the draft this year. I like the way they set up the future with the way that they set up these contracts. It's going to give them a lot of flexibility when this team is actually ready to really compete. They got to draft well this year. If they have a good draft this year, I think the Giants are in a really good spot to compete in this division for a 4 or 5 year stretch. But it's going to come down to the draft. But thanks so much, Philip, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Entertainer, what do we got here with Dave Gettleman's Hog Molly? Oh, God. If we draft the center 4, will you explode? Yes. I don't want to be drafting center 4. I like centers. But that's not happening. Can you see Zach Bourne being the type of player TJ Watt is? Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair comparison. I don't know if he's going to be as good, but yeah, I think that's a pretty fair comparison. TJ Watt is one of the most underrated linebackers in football in terms of coverage. And he's really a guy that could do everything. He's kind of like Van Noy, a guy that I often compare Bourne to. Watt's obviously a much better version, but yeah, I think he's a similar type of player in terms of the things he could do. So I think that's a fair comparison. Yeah, what do we have here in MH? Yeah, we what do we have here in MH? We have a guy that just likes to say what do we have here and then insert player's name here. That's what we have here in MH, Bad Dog. Where do you think Cam Newton will go? Yeah, I was asked that earlier. I think it's gonna be the Jaguars. If you ask me right now, I think it's gonna be the Jaguars. Watt was passed over because of 2 knee surgeries in college. Yeah, and that's reasonable reason to pass him up. But Evan Ingram still wasn't the right pick, and I know you agree with me there. What's going on there, Ryan Clay? Thanks for popping in the stream. I gotta go. Do you have any other live streams coming up? I'm sure I'll be live before. I don't know the day yet, but just watch my videos, and I'll definitely mention it in the video Tuesday probably, and I'm going live Friday with Bad Dog. I don't know if it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday, but I'm trying to do at least 2 Q&As a week, being that there's not a lot, and the draft's coming up. I may even extend it to 3 as the draft gets closer, and I'll be live with Bad Dog on Friday on the channel. So, yeah, probably like Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Malik, man, thanks so much, man, for the love. I really appreciate it. $2 donation says, yeah, you're right, Chris. See what the Bills did. I think the Bills. I made a video on what the Bills did last year. The Bills had a perfect offseason last year in the way that they spent their money. They filled a lot of holes and they didn't sign a lot of long contracts. I love what the Bills did last year in free agency, and they set themselves up very nicely for the future. And the Giants took a similar approach. So I just don't think they're where the Bills were going into the season last year. But yeah, I think the Bills were a really good model for a successful offseason last year. Let's see what we got here. I like going. Best ale to drink during a G-Men game. You know, if I'm like outdoors and it's freezing, it depends. Like, am I at a bar? Am I at a house? If I'm outdoors and it's freezing, I just want the easiest beer there is to drink. I don't want like a dark beer. I just want a beer that could go down because I'm cold. So I'm probably going with like a, whatever, Coors Light, Bud Light. I don't really care what it tastes like when it's 20 degrees outside. I just want to drink. But if I'm at like a bar, I'm going with something that I enjoy. I mean, I like all different kinds of beers. I like Guinness. I like Peroni. I like some Stella. I have a wide range of beers that I like. But outdoors, 20 degrees, just give me a Coors Light. Let's see what can Mr. Irrelevant be relevant this year? We certainly hope so. Big Drake, we certainly hope so, man. Last beer I have, Dos Equis is phenomenal. Bad dog, phenomenal. Let's see what we got here. At the moment when the team, do you think, would trade up with the Giants if we were to trade down? I don't know what you're asking there. I think the team that's most likely to trade up, if that's what you're asking, is the Chargers. JG says 40 and a blunt are the best. Can't really go wrong there. I mean, I'm sure you're pretty happy when you do that, JG. Thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate it. Now, JGs, are you originally from the New York, New Jersey tri-state area, and then you moved to Houston? Or are you a Giants fan originally from Houston? But thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate that. What's going on, Gil Soto? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. How many times do you think we will run the ball every game? I mean, Bradley, I think like what Joe Judge has said from the start, I think that we're going to be unpredictable. I think there's going to be some games where we run the ball 40 times. I think there's going to be some games where we run it 15. I don't think that we're going to be a team that you can identify. I think it's going to be based on our opponent. What's up, Jeremy, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. He says, I have been watching last year's ACC football games on the ACC channel. Would love Bryce Perkins as our third-string quarterback. Definitely a possible option later in the draft. Is drafting a quarterback in that 6th or 7th round. I could see them going that route. Obviously I don't view the guy that we brought in as the backup, McCoy, being here long term. So I could see them going that route for sure. They could definitely take a quarterback in the back end. I'm not even old enough to drink, Malik says. That's all right. You could have soda poppies, as Sonoy likes to say. Have I been to Hooters? Yes. Your top 5 player, Giant. Your top 5 Giants players ever. Okay, I'm gonna go based off guys I got to see from at least in the prime of their careers. I saw LT, but I saw him at the tail end. So in terms of guys in my generation that I got to see, my top 5 Giants players ever: Eli Manning, Saquon Barkley, Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck, and oh man, I'll go Amani Toomer. I got respect for Amani, man. I loved Amani. I thought he was a really good teammate. Yeah, I'll go Amani Toomer. I'll go with those 5. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of other good ones. I mean, you got Victor Cruz. You got Antonio Pierce. I mean, there's so many others I could pick. JPP. But those would be my top 5. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, Ben Galaxy? Thanks for popping into the stream, man. Entertainer, how do you feel about moving Love to free safety? Well, we wouldn't be moving. That's where he played last year. The last 3 or 4 games. So I think that we could definitely use another safety so you can move Love around. I think his biggest attribute is definitely being versatile. I expect the Giants to try to draft a safety within the first 4 rounds, maybe 5. So I think we could definitely use another safety. New York for Life, man. What's going on, man? $2 donation. Oh, he had to do it. Oh, in case you guys are new to my channel, people make fun of the way I say the word catch-up. He says, I think we should draft Marcus Catch-up with the 2nd pick. Thank you so much for the $2 donation, New York for Life, man. Hope you're staying safe out there. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Mekhi Becton, offensive tackle. Cesar Ruiz, center. Curtis Weaver, edge. Michael Pittman, Jr., wide receiver. Stanford Samuels, cornerback / for six. It's not a bad. I like Weaver a lot. He was originally being mocked in the 2nd round. Now you could probably get him in the 3rd from a lot of mocks I'm seeing. Malik Thompson with the $2 donation. He says Victor Cruz. Yeah, Victor Cruz. I mean, Victor Cruz, I say it all the time. He's kind of like, he had the greatest season ever for a wide receiver in New York Giants history. He was just as responsible as anybody for that Super Bowl run. I would say him and Eli Manning and JPP were the biggest contributing factors on that Super Bowl team. He was phenomenal. Your thoughts on bringing the... I was never a huge fan of the red jerseys. I never was. I know some people like the red. I was never a big fan of the red jerseys. My favorite Giants jersey is the Color Rush jersey. And I don't even have one of those. I got to get one. But I like, I love the blue also, but the Color Rush jersey is my favorite. I never liked the red jerseys. I don't know. I know some people like it. I never liked it. Let's see what we got here. Tuck's one of my all-time favorite, man. Let's see what we got here. Do you watch UFC? Do you think that... I do not. I do not. I actually streamed a UFC match 3 or 4 months ago. But no, I'm not a big UFC guy. I'm definitely going to stream another one of those, though. That was fun. Maybe after the draft, I'll do one of those, order a pay-per-view and do that for you guys. I know you guys enjoyed it, so I'll probably do another one of those for fun. Would you trade all our 7th-round picks for a 4th or 5th-round pick? Yes, probably. I mean, depending on if I felt like that player was, yeah, I would. I mean, you're talking, yes, that's a huge jump. I don't even think a team would do that. Maybe for a 5th, a mid-5th. Yeah, I'm with you, Savage. I'm not a fan of the red jerseys. If you could bring one past Giants on the team besides LT, who would it be? Oh, wow. On this team specifically, I mean, Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan, in his prime. We could use a pass rusher. I'll go Michael Strahan. Let's see what we got here. Do you think the Lions will get Okudah despite having Trufant and Coleman? I still think they could definitely take him, yes. Because they were talking about taking him when they had Slay. Trufant kind of just replaced Slay. So I still think they could definitely take him, yes. Best piece of advice to get through this offseason? Therapy. Let's see what we got here. Cam probably goes to the Chargers. Tyrod Taylor posted on Instagram a pic of him practicing with Cam, but I want him to go to the Redskins. I would love for him to go to the Redskins. That would be such a Daniel Snyder move. Obviously, he's got the connection there with Ron Rivera. Strahan will get 30 sacks a season. He might. I mean, with the new, now that teams pass as much as they do, he might in his prime. He might. Let's see what we got here. Entertainer. Who's the biggest draft pick that would be the biggest risk for the Giants? At number 4, I think Mekhi Becton. I think Mekhi Becton would be the biggest risk, in my personal opinion. At number 4. Are you? Yes. Argo, yes. Pro Bowl season for Daniel Jones. I mean, I think anybody. I think anybody. If you could throw a football, you could make the Pro Bowl. So it's not even a huge accomplishment nowadays for a quarterback to make the Pro Bowl because everybody backs out. So, yes, I think he could. But in terms of his statistics, do I think he could throw for 30 touchdowns and 4,000 yards? Yeah, I think he could. Johnny Boy, thank you so much, man, for the super stick. I really appreciate that. A little fist bump. Thank you so much, man, for the love. I really appreciate that, man. Let's see what we got here. 1 Burrow, 2 Young, 3 Okudah, 4 Simmons. How does that look, man? Oh, you're talking to Bad Dog. Would love to see... Mark, man, thank you so much, man, for love. And AB said, would love to see Peppers returning more punts this season. How about you? Yeah, I'd like to see him. Obviously, we brought back Coleman. I'd like to see Coleman return kicks. He was really good at that before the injury. And I think the special teams will be much improved. Mark Twerski with a $5 donation. He says, unless they trade down... let me just make sure I get this here. Unless they trade down, Dave will go Simmons because he loves his freaks and Joe loves versatility. DJ will carry us to the division title this year. Hashtag future MVP. From your lips to God's ears. I'm not going to be shocked if they take Simmons at all. I agree. Here's what I'm going to say, man. I do think he fits exactly what Joe Judge has talked about, what Patrick Graham has talked about. No doubt about it. Brings a lot of versatility. He could play safety, too, which is a position we've been talking about that the Giants need to improve. So you can move him around and play him a variety of ways. So I completely agree with that. I personally think it's going to come down to the same question with the quarterbacks in 2018. Does Dave Gettleman and the New York Giants feel that one of these 4 tackles is a can't-miss, no-doubt tackle? Because if they would have felt that way about the quarterback position in 2018, I firmly believe they would not have taken Saquon Barkley. They did not believe in those quarterbacks of being a no-doubt prospect. If Gettleman feels the same way this year with the tackles, I think they take Simmons. But if they feel Andrew Thomas or Jedrick Wills is a guy that's going to be an all-pro tackle for the next 10 years, I think they're going to take the tackle. I think the tackle is the more important position, but if they feel that Simmons is a much better player, they will take Simmons. That's my opinion on the matter. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. And Malik with the $5 donation. He says, in my opinion, I think Victor Cruz is one of the greatest slot receivers in the NFL and should be in the Hall of Fame besides Wes Welker. He was great. He was great for a year and a half, 2 years before the injury. Not a Hall of Famer. Because the injury. Had he not gotten hurt, he definitely could have made the Hall of Fame. I mean, he was unbelievable out of UMass there that first year with the Giants. It was crazy. It came out of nowhere. Had he not gotten hurt, Malik, he might have been a Hall of Famer. He definitely would have been in the Giants Ring of Honor had he not gotten hurt. But unfortunately, he sustained that injury. But thank you so much for the love, man. I really appreciate it. And JG's with the $5 donation. He says, play action all day. PA all day. Can't stand the Eagles, but I respect them. I love watching Randall Cunningham. Buddy Ryan was a funny coach. Spider Locker. Buddy Ryan was a great coach. And I got to see Randall Cunningham, the tail end of his career. I mean, Randall Cunningham was phenomenal. I mean, the Eagles have had a lot of great teams. Donovan McNabb. I always respect Donovan McNabb. I say Andy Reid. I don't give another coach in the league other than Bill Belichick more credit than Andy Reid. I threw a party when the Philadelphia Eagles got rid of Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid is one of the greatest coaches since I've been watching football. And I was happy for him that he got his Super Bowl this year. Donovan McNabb's one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks never to win a Super Bowl. Eagles have had their fair share of very good players. Brian Westbrook. They've had very good teams. But I don't enjoy watching them play, though. I can't go that far. Oh, man. Ken, man, thank you so much. Oh, a Philippine. I was going to say PHP. What is that? Ken with the whatever donation. I think it's around 5 because it's green. That's how Bad Dog says he distinguishes the foreign super chats. So thank you for the $5 donation, Ken. He says, good morning from the Philippines. Draft wide receiver about in the 3rd or the 4th. I've seen him mocked in that area as well. There's a bunch of receivers. My favorite guy, if he fell, would be Pittman. I don't think he's going to. I would love Pittman. I want a sure-handed wide receiver. He's tall. But that could be a guy they're looking at for sure, man. And I don't even know what time it is in the Philippines, but I appreciate you tuning in, Ken. I'm pretty sure you're a member of my channel, too, so I really appreciate that as well, man. Thank you so much for the love, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Andy Reid is a phenomenal head coach, man. He's just got to work on his diet, but he's a great head coach. Would you run a marathon for a Giants playoff spot? No doubt for me. I've run a marathon, Hakeem. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, 100% I would. I ran a full 26-mile marathon about 5 years ago, in all places, Philadelphia. So yes, I would to make the playoffs. Crispy Cracker, thank you so much, man, for the $1 donation. I really appreciate that, man. What's going on, Kev K? Thank you for tuning into the stream. MH says, serious question. Do you think Leonard Williams could live up to his draft position? He doesn't even need to. I just want him to be good. And I think he could be. I think he was good with the Giants last year. I just don't, I don't think his play is going to, I don't think he's worth what he's getting paid, but I think he could definitely have an influence on the New York Giants defense, yes. Good morning from Germany. What's going on, man? All the way over from Germany, man. I really appreciate it. 10 a.m. in the Philippines. Well, I hope you're enjoying the coffee over there, if you're drinking coffee. Don't worry, Crispy Cracker. Are you kidding me? Stop. I appreciate you for being here, man. Who is a sleeper big wide? But I mean, AJ, there is so many. There's so many. There's like 10 guys. It is the deepest wide receiver draft in a very long time. I did a video on it. So I mentioned several of them, but there are so many deep round wide receivers that the Giants could target. But I think they're going to focus on the guys, like I've said, that are 6'3" or taller, 6'3", 6'4". I think that's what they're looking at. I don't expect a 6-foot wide receiver to be a New York Giant. Let's see what we got here. Entertainer, where did you grow up? Long Island, Bradley. Long Island. Who's your favorite tackle and why? I'm leaning Wills or Thomas because I think they're the most capable of being a left tackle. I love Wirfs though. I think I get excited thinking about Wirfs getting out in front of Saquon Barkley on a screen pass with his athletic ability. But I'm leaning, especially after watching all the film breakdown on the players, I'm leaning Wills or Thomas. I think they're the most technically skilled, and I think they're the most ready to play the tackle position in the NFL. So I'll go with them. Would you rather BJ Hill or Ballantyne if given the BJ Hill? I'm not hating on Ballantyne. I'm rooting for Ballantyne. He's a great story. I still got some coffee left. Should I throw some ice cubes in here, by the way? But BJ Hill, to me, demonstrated that he could be a very good player in his rookie year. I haven't seen that from Ballantyne yet, so BJ Hill. Great comment, Mark. Did I miss a comment from Mark? Let's see what we got here. Play me in Madden 10. I gotta get my PlayStation set up, and that'd be fun. I would love to play some of you guys in Madden. After the draft, I'll start to get that going, hopefully. Throw some sugar. I don't got sugar. I don't put sugar in the coffee. I'm trying to lose weight. You think I'm going to put sugar in the coffee? Matt says, what about the size of Wills? I'm not too concerned with the size. He's not that small. The one thing you hear about Wills is that he commits a lot of penalties, and he plays right tackle, but he was the blindside protector for Tua. So those are the knocks you hear on him. Gil just warmed up my coffee mug. Gil, I appreciate the super sticker. Thank you so much. And Irish New York Sports says it's 3 a.m. here, Ram. Well, Irish New York Sports is a great supporter of my channel as well. Hope you're having a good time in the stream. Thank you for always popping into my channel, watching my videos and everything else. I really appreciate it. How do you take Sabrina? I drink it black usually. Sometimes I'll put in the skim milk, but I try to stay away from the sugar. When I don't care about my weight, I'll put sugar in there. I'll put half and half. Thanks, man. Good job. I really appreciate that, Matt. Thank you very much. 1986 Mets. I love that game. That's probably the greatest game ever in New York Mets. Definitely in New York Mets history. One of the greatest games in the history of baseball. Game 6, 1986. James Dolan. No way, Jake. No way. Does he really? There's no way. Delpit or I like Delpit a lot. But I think I gotta go Murray. But I really like Delpit. Yo, I'm here. Pray for me because my sister's oh God, Moose, man. I hope everything works out there, man. Moose is one of my best subscribers, man. I hope everything works out there, Moose. It's true. Wow. James Dolan has coronavirus. Oh my God. I mean, I never wish that on anybody. I hate James Dolan as an owner, but I never wish that on any. It's crazy, man, the amount of people that are getting this right now. It's insane. You know, all these celebrities and it's crazy. I think there's over 50,000 people in New York right now that have it. So that's scary, man. That's scary, man. US has the most kids. Yeah, and New York has half of them. Any predictions on how Joe Judge will change the team? I mean, I think the team is going to be – I think the biggest thing that you're going to realize with the New York Giants this year, I think it's going to be an organized football team. I think they're a team that's going to come in prepared. They're going to have a clear game plan every week. I think they're going to be very well coached. I don't think you're going to see a lot of penalties. I think you're going to see a good usage of the timeouts. That's what I think. In terms of the talent, you know, I don't know if they have enough talent to be a great team yet, but I think it's going to be a very well-prepared team. I think Joe Judge is an attention-to-detail guy, and I think he brought in an experienced staff. So I do think you'll see changes in that department. Let's see what we got here. The NFL season better. I don't think it'll get canceled. It could get pushed back a month or two. I don't think it'll get canceled, man. Favorite new coach besides Judge? My favorite new coach besides Judge? You talking about on the New York Giants, or you talking about head coaches? On the New York Giants, I like a lot of the coaches. I mean, I like Burns a lot, the running backs coach. I like Bielema. I don't like what he's done, what he did trying to get off the team, but I do like Bielema. I love Coach Chaos. I love Colombo, the offensive line coach. I thought was a really good hire. I like a lot of the coaches. I really do on the New York Giants staff. I think that they brought in a lot of really good coaches that fit this team. Malik, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, I just want us to close games again. We collapsed too often the past 3 years. And Malik, I'm going to tell you the way that I think they're going to get better at closing out games if they're going to be able to do it. The running game for both sides of the football. We've got to become a ball control offense because if you keep that defense rested down the stretch, they're gonna have gas in the tank and they're gonna be able to get after the quarterback. We've got to get better at running the football, and in turn, that will help us close out games on the defensive end. So hopefully, we commit to the run, we improve that offensive line, we open up some holes for Saquon Barkley, and I think you're gonna see us able to close out some games this year if we could do that. So Malik, thank you so much for the love, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Things are okay here. Just laying low. Sabrina's talking to Moose. If anyone can make coronavirus a loser, it would be Dolan. But seriously, hope he and everyone. Yeah, of course. Giants never blow out anyone. It's so frustrating. Like for once, yeah, you're right. And even when you think they're gonna blow out a team, they make it interesting. You know, I remember 2 years ago, you thought they were gonna blow out the Bears, and they made it interesting. Of course, Odell Beckham got alligator arms on the offensive kick, but they made it interesting. We don't have easy wins. That's not what the New York Giants do. It's not. The only year where we really consistently had easy wins was 2008. Even their Super Bowl years, they didn't have easy wins for the most part, on a weekly basis. They always make you sweat it out. Mark, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, let's be real, Pat was the main problem in late games. He definitely was a major problem. His usage of the timeouts, for sure. Pat, you won't hear a debate there. He was very bad with the timeouts. There was at least the Patriots game, he was horrible. I think the Lions game, he had 3, 4, 5 games where he was really bad with the timeouts. Now, would they have won all those games? No. But could they have won maybe 1 or 2 of them had he been better with the timeouts? Absolutely. But I also think the fact that we were not a ball control offense and the defense wore down definitely had something to do with it as well. And the fact that we just didn't have a very talented defense. But yeah, I mean, Pat Shermer was very bad with his late game decision making. Specifically last year, it was really bad. Thank you so much for the love, man. Malik with the $5 donation. He says, I feel if we switch around defensive schemes for Leonard from 4-3 to 3-4, feel like he could be a great defensive end because we need Dexter and in the game. Well, yeah, I think they're going to move Leonard Williams around. I think you're going to see Leonard Williams playing. That's the thing I really like about Leonard Williams, Malik, in this defense. I think that he can play a variety of positions. I think in certain instances he could play the nose guard. I think he could play the D tackle in the 4-3. I think you could line him out wide on the 4-3, the 3-4. He's not going to play OLB, but you could play him in a lot of ways. Same with Dexter Lawrence. They have defensive linemen on this line that are interchangeable. They can really move around and do a lot of things. But thank you so much, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate it. And Mark Tversky with the $2 donations. No, I know, Mark. Yeah, they were telling me. That's scary. It sucks, man. I obviously I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not a fan of Dolan as an owner, but I worked for Optimum for a number of years, the company he owned before he sold it to the French. So I wasn't too happy with him when he did that either. But I would never be, I would never, root for that on anybody. But yeah, man, it's not good. Let's see what we got here. Darnold's better than John. Come on. No, he's not better. He's not better. He's not. I'm not saying he can't be better, but I don't think it's fair to say either one's better than the other yet. It's just not fair to say. I mean, Daniel Jones last year had a better year than Darnold's had. Some of that you could attribute to a bad offensive line. Some of that you could attribute to poor weaponry. But Daniel Jones had poor weaponry and had a poor offensive line last year. So to this point in their careers, Daniel Jones at his best has been better than Sam Darnold at his best. And I'm not a Sam Darnold hater. Any Jet fan comes on my channel, I actually praise the guy a lot. I think he could be a very good quarterback, but you can't say Sam Darnold's better than Daniel Jones right now. Just can't do it. Let's see what we got here. That is things you say when you don't know much. I don't know who you're talking to, Ozzy. Oh, you're talking about Darnold and Daniel Jones? Who do you want in the second round if we take a tackle? Game Pass is awesome, Christian. I was going to invest in Game Pass anyway. And that's one thing I'm adding to my channel, and I'm going to have to pay for it in season. I was going to do it, and then I saw Game Pass was for free. I said, okay, I'm going to start it now. But I was going to do that anyway. I'm going to do post-game breakdowns of I'll probably do separate videos. One will be for the offense. I'll probably pick out 10 or 15 plays and break it down on the offense's performance and then do the defense. I'll probably do a separate video for offense and defense after every game. It'll probably be the day after. But yeah, I'm going to add that to the channel this year. So I think it's a good investment. I think people enjoy it. Even if I don't do the best job doing it, I think it's interesting to see all the angles and see it from different perspectives. So I planned on adding that anyway. This year. I love it. The Game Pass is awesome. What's going on, Hot Take? Hockey, thanks for popping in the stream. And anybody that is not subscribed to HTH, I always like to shout him out because I absolutely love that guy. Really nice guy. And if you're a hockey fan, you definitely want to check him out. So thanks for being here, buddy. Can I do trivia? If I do that, that'll be after the draft. Not going to be right now. Let's see what we got here. Who do you think the better coach will be, Flores or Judge? Hopefully Judge. I mean, Flores looked really good last year, but, Judge comes from the same tree. So that gives us some hope, right? Obviously, they both learned under Belichick. They're both known as smart young minds. I think Judge is going to be really good. I think Flores is going to be really good. I think they're both good coaches. Let's see what we got here. Got to go to bed soon. I have to wake up early to try and get some paper towel at Wally World. Big Daddy, man, I hear you. I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate all the support you always show my channel. You always drop great comments. Really dedicated subscriber. I appreciate it. And I know that there's going to be a rush for anything when you go to the stores right now. So make sure you get up early and get that. How do you think our defense how do you think our defense is looking this year? Too early to tell, man. It's just too early to tell. I don't, I got to see them play. This is a completely new scheme. I got to see the way they implement the players. But I do think we have talent. I think it's young and underdeveloped. But I do think the defense could be better. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be a good defense, but I think it could be better. Predictions for Daniel Jones next season. Yeah, somebody asked me this in another stream. I think I said right around 30 touchdowns, about 12, 13 picks, and 4,000 yards. Right around there. That's where I'll have him. I think he's going to have a better year. I think I'll have an improved year. But the most important stat for me with Daniel Jones this year is fumbles. I need to see him cut those 12 in half. Cut it down to 6. Got to cut those fumbles down. Saquon stat prediction. 22 between 22 and 2,300 scrimmage yards. I think he's gonna have a big year. I think he's gonna lead the league in scrimmage yards. And yeah, I think he's gonna have MVP type numbers at the running back position. I think he's gonna have a huge year. Who do you want in the SEC in the second round? Okay, I thought you were talking about the SEC conference. I mean, I'm hoping for Austin Jackson there, realistically. If they wait until the second round, I'd hope for Austin Jackson to be there. That'd probably be the guy. But I think the NFL draft will not. It is going to happen, Hype. They already said it's going to. They said it yesterday or 2 days ago. It's not going to be the traditional NFL draft. It's not going to be where there's a crowd, and it's going to be in a controlled environment. It's going to be very boring. But the draft will take place. They said it yesterday, and it's going to go as scheduled. April 23rd to the 25th, I think it is. So they're still going to have the draft. Now, the season might get pushed back because they might have to push back OTAs. They might have to push back mandatory minicamps. All that stuff. That's possible. That might go a month or two later than expected. Hopefully not. Hopefully get football in September. But the draft's going to be on time. Let's see what we got here. What Giants member could become the MVP in the next 5 years besides Barkley? Daniel Jones. I'm not predicting it, but the quarterback's always got a shot if he develops into a really... The MVP is almost always the quarterback. So, I mean, I'd have to say Daniel Jones would be the guy. Let's see what we got. Kristen Orr says, Austin Jackson is our offensive tackle. Hands off. So, no, of course, a huge Chargers fan. What's going on, Matthew? Dwayne, man, thanks for popping in, man. Thanks for being a member, man. I appreciate it, man. Who do you think the Giants draft after the O-line? So, if they go O-line in the first, who do I think they draft? I mean, I think they're either going safety, linebacker, or edge rusher, depending on, or center. They could double up on offensive line, but it's going to depend on who's there. But, I mean, I've mentioned Bourne. I don't know if Bourne's going to be there. I've mentioned Delpit. Good chance he could be there. Ruiz, if they're going center, is a possibility. I don't think they're going with a wide receiver in the second round. I could be wrong. But I think those are the names you're looking at. Matos, if he falls, obviously has the Penn State connection with Coach Chaos. I think those are the possibilities. If you ask names off the top of my head right now, Ruiz as a center, Biadish as a center. Those are some of the guys we could be looking at. Arturo, man, it's horrible. I mean, that's just the Mets' luck, man. That's the Mets' luck. You get excited for the next season, and Syndergaard goes down with an injury. So it's just the life of a Mets fan, dude. What you trade down with for the Raiders? I mean, I need both their first-round picks. I need 12, 19, and a future third or fourth. Did DJ play like a top 15 quarterback last year? My honest answer, no. Statistically, you might be able to argue he did, but no. He definitely performed like a guy that I think will be a top 15 quarterback, but I still think he's got some things to work on before I say he's an above-average quarterback. You can't be fumbling the ball as often as he did. You got to have better pre-snap reads. And that's common for a rookie quarterback. That's expected. But, I'm not going to put him there yet. But I think he definitely will be. And hopefully he cuts down on the turnovers this year. Who's your favorite? I'm not a hockey guy. But if I had to pick a team, I'd pick the Islanders. Yeah, I know, John, man. It sucks, man. Who is the best tackle? I've been asked that a couple times tonight. Pure tackle, I'm going to say Thomas or Wills. One of those two. What if the Giants traded Saquon for cap space? I'd be pissed because I don't think you're going to get near equal value for Saquon Barkley. I've said that time and time again. I completely get people that didn't want to draft Saquon Barkley, but you're not going to get... The guy's a leader. He's a guy you're going to build the football team around. They're not trading Saquon Barkley. I'd be shocked if they trade Saquon Barkley. If they got a reasonable price, go ahead, but I don't think they're going to get it. Ryan. Chris, do you think Nate Solder and Cam Fleming are capable starters? For a good football team, no. Simon, you know what? I think Cam Fleming and Nate Solders are good tackles if you want to put Daniel Jones in the morgue. Like, if you want to fit him for a casket before the season starts, I think if you go with Cam Fleming and Nate Solder, there's a good chance that you'll get a good investment out of that casket. So that's my answer to that. Malik, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, Chris, my aunt is a nurse, and she works in the front lines at New York Hospital. Pray for me and everyone that has the virus. It sucks. Yeah, man, I pray for everybody, man. Everybody's got to stay safe. Everybody's got to, make sure you're safe out there, especially for the nurses, man. They're in constant contact. I have a friend who's a doctor who was telling me stories. It's scary out there right now, for sure, man. And yeah, I hope everything is good with your aunt and everybody who knows somebody that might have the virus. Let's see what we got here. Stop trying to trade. Yeah, to be fair, guys, I love Ryan. He's not a Giants fan. So let's not get on him. He's a Redskin fan. Hey there, Chris. Opinions on Eric Tomlinson addition back to the New York Giants. I don't hate the addition. I don't hate the addition. He's a guy that's going to come off the bench. He's a blocking tight end. I don't even know if he's going to make the roster, but that's not a bad addition. And I think he has ties to the Patriots with Judge, so there's a connection there. Any chance that Colombo makes a difference with Solder and the whole O-line? I think Colombo definitely could. And I think that's part of the reason why they brought in Fleming, because obviously he's played with him. But I think Colombo definitely could have an influence on the offensive line. Everything you read about him when he was with the Cowboys, he did a fantastic job. And that's why Garrett, obviously recommended him to the Giants. I think Colombo's going to do a good job there. Definitely better than Hunter. Let's see what we got here. I hope Solder could. Yeah, of course. Solder got to be serviceable. Not NFL-related news, but yeah, I know, Mike. People have been saying it, man. It's scary stuff. Do you think the additions of Tomlinson moves Nate Solder to the right? Wait, do you think we should move Nate Solder to the right tackle? Only if we draft a guy that we think is going to be the left tackle. We don't have anybody on the roster right now who can play left tackle. So if we don't draft an early offensive lineman, no. If we draft Andrew Thomas, yeah, I probably do move him to right tackle. So it depends on what we do in the draft. Let's see what we got here. No wonder traded. Yeah, we're not trading Saquon. We're not trading. What's your opinion on the Antonio Brown situation? Bourne Center says. What's my opinion on the Antonio Brown situation? Well, I think, like I said, that Daniel Jones should be fitted for a casket. If we stick with our two tackles, I think Antonio Brown should be fitted for a straitjacket. I will want no part of him on my football team. I think he's a complete Looney Tune. Yeah, I don't think he's worth the headache. I think you want to talk about somebody who's clinically insane, that's Antonio Brown. I think he's a complete nutcase, and I'd be surprised if any team gives him a chance this year. I could be wrong. Maybe we'll get a chance on a 1-year prove-it deal, but I think he should be. I think he's a Looney Tune. Let's see what we got here. Coronavirus trying its hardest to get you to do a 24. Nikki. We're 100% cutting. So yeah, we're cutting Solder after this. After this season. Chris, you should become a Yankees fan. I know. I wouldn't have gray hairs if I was a Yankees fan. I would look 10 years younger. It was a bad mistake I made when I was younger, but I can't do it. Antonio, he might have CTE. Chris, let's see what we got here. Yeah, Solder gone. Yeah, he's definitely gone after this year. Would you hold on to DJ even if he sucks next season, or take Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields if available? Well, the only way we're getting Trevor Lawrence, Mark, is if we pick first overall. I'd be shocked if Trevor Lawrence going first overall next year. So I don't think the Giants are going to have the worst record in football, so I don't view that as a viable option. And hopefully Daniel Jones doesn't suck. I don't even want to think about that. But I think for me it would depend on the reasoning why he sucked. Like if I came to the conclusion the reason why he sucked is because I didn't improve the offensive line, I'd have to give the kid another year. And the other thing I'm going to say about Daniel Jones, even if Daniel Jones sucked this year, which I don't think he's going to, I'd have to give him another year anyway because he's learning a completely new playbook. It's his second year. You're making him learn a completely new offense. That's going to be a transition period, especially when you factor in that there may not be OTAs. The offseason is going to be shortened. You're asking this kid to learn a completely new playbook, a playbook that he was not initially drafted for. He was drafted to fit the Pat Shurmur offense. So I do not think it's fair to move on from Daniel Jones after this year, really under any circumstance. Yeah, no. Let's see what we got here. Thoughts on extending Tomlinson? I personally love him. If they extend Leonard Williams, I don't expect to extend Tomlinson. If they don't extend Leonard Williams, I have no problem extending Tomlinson. Do you think Roses will get released? No. I think they're going to keep him at least for this year. What's going on, New Yorker? Thanks for popping into the stream. Do you think the additions of Tomlinson and Toilolo mean there will be a definite, very possible Ingram trade? Definite is not the right word. Possible, absolutely. Specifically in season. Yeah, I know James Dolan has Corona, Raymond. Crazy, man. What's up, Drew? Yeah, I know, word. I know. What's going on, Justin Leon? Thanks for popping in the stream. It's sad, man. Who is the most underrated player in the draft? I've been asked that. I'll go Andrew Thomas based on the mocks. I mean, I think Andrew Thomas is still arguably the best tackle in the draft, and I see him going in the mid-first round sometimes, so I'll go Andrew Thomas. Any trade targets? Draft picks. Draft picks. If I'm trading players, I want picks, not players. I want picks. Got to get younger. Do you think the Giants versus the Browns could? Yeah, I think it will be. I'd be shocked. Odell Beckham going back to New York, New Jersey to play the Giants. Got to be in prime time. That 100% will be a prime time game. Rams logo thoughts? I think Donald Trump made the logo. I think Donald Trump definitely made that logo. Because if you look at the logo, it looks like Donald Trump's hair. I saw a bunch of pictures comparing the two. I'm not a fan of the logo. I think it looks goofy. The helmet doesn't look horrible. I saw the helmet, but the logo itself, I'm not a fan, man. Your favorite for Zach Diaz? I mentioned him in my mock the mock draft. It's the long snapper from LSU. He's the best in the country. Zach Bourne or Gross Matos? I'm going with Gross. Zach Bourne probably could do more things. Gross Matos has probably got a higher ceiling. Are you joining Fireside Giant? Yeah, I went on there. I mean, I'm not joining their channel, Ben, but yeah, I was on their channel today. I don't know when they're going to release it, but probably tomorrow. I did the podcast with them today. It was a lot of fun. We talked about everything. And I'm sure they'll come on my channel soon. Really good guys, all three of them. We talked for a while. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a really good podcast today, so definitely check that out. They'll probably have it up tomorrow. Ruiz or Beatish? Listen, I really liked Tyler out of Wisconsin coming in. He's tough. You really see the impact he has when you watch the film at the center position. Ruiz had a killer combine. I think Ruiz is going to go higher. I'd be happy with either one of them. I think they're both very capable centers. Is Bowen versatile? So what can he play? He's a guy that could do different things at the position. He's kind of like Van Noy. He's a guy that could or Watt. I don't expect him to be as good as Watt, but a guy that could cover as well as get after the passer. He's kind of a complete football player. Do I like what's going on there, Kid Blue? If you guys have not checked out Kid Blue, I love that guy. Go on over there, check out his channel as well. One of the nicest guys I've ever met on, off of YouTube. Had a pleasure getting to meet him at the Giants game, and hopefully I get to do it again with him next year. Thanks for popping in, KB. Lloyd Cushenberry, good center. Definitely a potential draft pick. Imagine what DJ can do with time to throw. Yeah, you give DJ time to throw, man. In this, yeah. And if you get him another weapon, yeah. Let's see what we got here. How many sacks for X-Men this year? I'll say between 7 and 9. 7 and 9. I think he's going to have a good year. Yo, Chris, which Ball brother will have the best career? I'll say the one that's getting drafted this year. I'm not a huge fan of Lonzo Ball. Would you risk taking Becton, trusting Colombo to develop him? Oh, man. No. Not at 4. That's just me. I know a lot of Giants fans want Becton. I'm taking the safer choice. When I'm picking that early, I'm taking the safer choice. I'm not risking a bust at number 4. Now, they all could be a bust, but I'm taking the guy that I think is the safest prospect, and I do not think Becton's the safest prospect. If we trade down, that changes things. Yeah, LaMelo. Danny Dimes or Kyler Murray? I'm gonna be a homer here. I'm going Jones. Yeah, oh yeah, Becton's gonna be in the first round. Becton's definitely going in the first round. He'll be in the first 15 picks. Definitely going in the first round. Who scares you more, Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa, and why? Nick Bosa. I think Nick Bosa's. I mean, they're both really good. Nick Bosa is probably the most technically skilled pass rusher to come out of college in a very long time. He's not the craziest athlete. He's definitely an athlete. He's strong. Myles Garrett was probably the freakiest athlete I've seen come out at that position in a very long time. But in terms of being technically skilled, Nick Bosa is perfect. I mean, he's perfect in that aspect of his game. I'd go Nick Bosa over Joey Bosa. What wide receiver going in the first round and to what team? There's a bunch of wide receivers going in the first round. I mean, Ruggs is definitely going. Judy, Lamb, all three of those are definitely going. Justin Jefferson's probably going in the first, along with a few others. You know, there's probably at least 5 wide receivers that go in the first. And if I had to pick a team, I think the first team that's capable of taking a receiver right now is probably the Jets. I would have said the Cardinals before they obviously got Hopkins. So I would say the Jets at 11 is probably the first destination where you could see a wide receiver. The Raiders at 12 definitely are a possibility. The 49ers at 13 are definitely a possibility. And then obviously the Broncos at 15. You got the Eagles at 21. The Vikings have 2 picks. They obviously lost Stephon Diggs. They're a possibility. There's a lot of spots for wide receivers. Compare Isaiah Simmons to Patrick Willis. They're not the same player. Patrick Willis is more of a traditional. Patrick Willis was athletic as hell, but he's more of a traditional linebacker. Isaiah Simmons he's not like any linebacker we've ever seen, really. I mean, I think the Cam Chancellor comparison's pretty good. Only Simmons is an inch taller and he's about 10 pounds heavier. He's not like Patrick Willis. Willis is more of a traditional linebacker. Simmons is a guy that you could move around. He's a guy that could play some safety, he could play some linebacker. He could do it all. We haven't seen too many players like him. He's definitely a different talent. A more modern day linebacker. No doubt about it. Josh Allen or Chase Young? Chase Young. I love Josh Allen, but Chase Young. Thoughts on Haskins' future? Oh, man. I think Haskins, he's got to be in the right situation. You know, he's got to be in the right situation, and I don't think Washington right now is the right situation. They don't have an offensive line. And I have a bad feeling for him, man. I could see them quitting on him like Rosen was quit on with Arizona, and that kind of ruined Rosen's career. I don't like Haskins' future right now. I don't like what I'm hearing out of Washington. They brought in a new coach who's not connected to him. I still think Haskins in the right situation could be a pretty good quarterback, but I don't know if he's going to get that situation. I don't think he's got a bright future, being completely honest. Oh, man, Malik, man, thanks so much, man, for the $10 donations. He says, Chris, if we draft a wide receiver from Oklahoma or the defensive tackle from Auburn, you're talking about Derek Brown and CeeDee Lamb, are you going to have a heart attack? Because I can beat Pando going to burn his jersey. I don't know if I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm definitely going to rant. If they take a wide receiver or Derek Brown, I'm definitely going to rant on draft night at number 4. The only way I'd be okay with taking CeeDee Lamb is if we traded down with the Raiders. And even then, I wouldn't be happy. But if we traded down to 12 and took a wide receiver there and they said, oh, we can't pass up CeeDee Lamb here, and then still got the offensive tackle at 19, like a Josh Jones type player with CeeDee Lamb, it wouldn't be what I'd want. I wouldn't flip out about it. But if they took CeeDee Lamb at 4, I'm going to flip out, Malik. Sleeper, third overall to Detroit. I'd say Derek Brown, I guess, is a slight possibility to Detroit. You've heard rumors there that they could get an interior defensive lineman. I still don't think it's going to happen. I think that they either go Chase Young if the Washington Redskins pass on him, which I don't think they will, or they go Jeff Okudah or they trade down. I think that's what you're looking at for Detroit. Why do you work your ass off so much? Because I love what I do. I love doing this, and there's a dream of mine one day to do this full time, whether it's on YouTube or off of it. So, and you guys inspire me to work hard. So, whenever I get the nice comments and the interaction, I love talking about the Giants. I love the Giants, and I love, I guess, building a community to talk about the Giants. So that's why I work my ass off so much. There you go. With the activity in, did I eat Burger King today? No. With the activity in free agency versus the players released or not re-signed, have we improved our roster or just filled vacancies? I think we've slightly improved it. We haven't dramatically improved it. We've definitely improved it. But I wouldn't say it's not like 2016 where there's a dramatic improvement via free agency. I appreciate that, Ryan, man. I love you guys, too. Have a great night, my good sir. You too, Kristaps Porzingis. You got it, Hagen, man. Thank you very much, man. Isaiah Simmons, Defensive Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. We need him, LT 2.0. I'm not going to go that far. You know, I see a lot of people saying LT 2.0. I think Isaiah Simmons is incredibly versatile. I think he's an incredible talent. We can't be saying LT 2.0. LT, you got Isaiah Simmons isn't going to be a guy that's going to get you 20 sacks. You know, he's a different type of player. I think he's a he's going to be I think he could be a great player. But no, he's not LT. He's definitely a guy that could help the defense though, for sure. What's going on, Austin? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Let's see what we got. Is Carl that's definitely more fair, Carl Banks. Let's see what we got here. Is Chase Young as good? No. Chase Young is not. There's nobody as good as LT. LT is the greatest defensive player who ever lived. Nobody. Can we get Isaiah Simmons if we trade down with the Raiders? No. Only way you're going to get Isaiah Simmons if you trade down is with the Chargers or the Dolphins, if you still want him at 5 or 6, if he's there. The reason they're saying 2.0 is, yeah, I mean, he's definitely a physical freak. I'll say that. But LT that's far-fetched, man. Marshall Faulk versus Eric Dickerson. You see, I got to watch Faulk. Obviously, I know Dickerson had the 2,000-yard season. He's one of the, regarded as one of the greatest backs ever. I didn't get to see Dickerson. I've seen film. Marshall Faulk, to me, is one of the, since I've been watching football, Marshall Faulk is one of the 3 or 4 most talented running backs ever since I've been watching football. He was incredible. He was the most important. Some people might credit Kurt Warner for that Rams team, and Kurt Warner had a lot to do with it. Torrey Holt had a lot to do with it. Isaac Bruce had a lot to do with it. Marshall Faulk was the main centerpiece of that offense. He was incredible. Since I've been watching the sport, Barry Sanders, Marshall Faulk, LaDainian Tomlinson, in terms of guys that have had full careers, those are probably the 3 most talented running backs I've ever seen. Let's see what we got here. Dickerson was a beast. Dickerson was great. I mean, he was the first guy ever, I think, to rush for 2,000 yards, if I'm not mistaken. Words of wisdom I would give to Daniel Jones. That's a good question. Hold on to the friggin' football. No, but, be patient in the pocket. Wait for that's one thing I've seen on the film. Sometimes he gets a little antsy in the pocket, which is normal when you have a bad offensive line, but let your wide receivers' routes develop. He's got to get better at reading defenses pre-snap, but like I always say, those are things you should expect from a rookie quarterback. David Biagalo, man, thanks so much, man, for the love, man. $5 donation. The more I think about the draft, the more... Hold on one second, let me scroll up. The more I say that we need to go O-line, Luck is smart enough to make money outside of the NFL, and DJ is too, need to protect. David, man, my theory, and I said the house comparison earlier. I said the offensive line's kind of like having a leaky roof, and instead of fixing the leaky roof, some people are trying to get a new kitchen. You got to fix the roof before you fix the kitchen. And then the other thing I always say, you just bought a shiny new car. You got yourself a nice Mercedes-Benz with Daniel Jones. You don't drive a Mercedes-Benz without top-of-the-line collision and car insurance. You got to protect your quarterback. You got to protect your Mercedes-Benz. So, and it's something they don't have in place right now. So, that would be my mindset if I was a general manager. I know some people may view that as boring or old school. I'm getting the protection for Daniel Jones, and I'm getting the guy that could fill some holes for Saquon Barkley. But that's me. Simmons a much better version of Michael Boley. Oh, yeah, much better version of Michael Boley. What do you think Dexter Lawrence can do to improve as a... What do you think Dexter to improve as a defensive tackle? I mean, one thing that I thought he could get better at that I saw in the film in college that he did more, even though he did get his hand on some balls, he was known for being really good at getting his hands on passes. I expect him to do that more this year. Maybe bat some balls, create some turnovers. But overall, Dexter Lawrence was really good. I mean, he was, he was just really good. Clogging the run lanes, getting pressure. Lawrence had a really good rookie year. I expect him to only build off of it. Let's see what we got here. Where would you rank Marvin Harrison on your That's tough, man, because Marvin Harrison had in my opinion, the greatest quarterback who ever lived, if not one of the second or the third best with Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning had a lot to do with his success. Marvin Harrison's great, though. One of my favorite wide receivers ever because he wasn't a diva. He was a guy that went out there, did his job, incredibly consistent. He's definitely in the top 10, probably, for sure. I don't know if I put him in the top 5, but he's definitely top 10. Good night. Would I trade Ingram for a first in a second? Good night, entertainer. Keep it up, man. You're my favorite. I really appreciate that, man. Mark, man, thanks for being here, man. Thank you for all the support on the channel. Can you see us taking 2 tackles? Yes, but not early. I can see us definitely taking a late round tackle and an early round tackle. How do you think DeAndre Baker can improve, Philip asked? Being used in the right way. I think last year they used too much zone coverage. So I think they got to use more man press coverage with DeAndre Baker. I think if they use him the right way, I think that will definitely improve him. I also think having a much more competent corner on the other side with James Bradberry, even though Jenkins was decent last year, but Bradberry's definitely better at this stage of his career than Jenkins was last year. So I think that will also help DeAndre Baker. But yeah, I think they have to use him in what he's accustomed to being used. I think last year you put him in zone coverage, the guy never played it. So I think if you use him the right way, he'll play better. Now, you're going to have to play zone, but, you use it less with Baker and put him in the right situation to succeed. I think this coaching staff will do that. Malik, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, Dexter Lawrence don't have to be that Lawrence Taylor person. He can be the greatest defensive tackle. Loving the bulldoze, the biker's guard. Dexter Lawrence, I think I know where you're going with that. Dexter Lawrence his impact is not going to be getting sacks. His impact is going to be clogging lanes and creating sacks for other players by collapsing the pocket and getting the occasional sack, batting the ball, forcing the fumble, stuffing the run. So Dexter Lawrence, it's hard to measure him on statistics to really get the full value of what he brings to the table, but Dexter Lawrence is a very good football player, and he was a very good pick. Can you see Caden Smith getting first-team reps? Yes, definitely. Definitely. I think you will. Gotta eat dinner. Keep it up, Chris. Thanks for the chats and talking. RG, man. Be safe, my man. I appreciate that card, Coach. Yeah, I'll close this out probably at 11:15. I think we started at 8:30, so I'll probably go to 11:15, man. But I appreciate you tuning in, man. Thank you for being a great subscriber. I always see you commenting on the videos. Jets win the headlines in New York. Giants win Super Bowls. Jets sign AB. If there is a team that would sign AB, at least in the past, who knows with the new Jets regime, they still got the same owner, I would not be shocked. The Jets have shown a willingness to I mean, there's no doubt about it. The Jets, at least in the past, I'm not trying to bash the Jets. The Jets had a quarterback who just brought them to 2 AFC title games, and they bring in Tim Tebow. They bring in Michael Vick. Why would you do that? You screw up, you screw your quarterback's head up. You create competition that's not necessary. It was for headlines. The only reason to bring Tim Tebow in was for headlines. It never made any sense to me. You're absolutely right. The Jets have notoriously been an organization that tries to take shortcuts, specifically at the quarterback position, and that tries to capture the back page of the paper. You look at all the shortcuts they've taken. They took Brett Favre when he was like 40. They took Neil O'Donnell, Boomer Esiason when he was over the hill. They never did it right at the quarterback position. And when they finally did, not to say Sanchez is great, they screwed that up. So far, they haven't screwed up with Darnold, but they got to get a better offensive line. How many Pro Bowls will the Giants have this year? I'll say 4. Any other players the Eagles think they can get? I mean, they're going to get every player known to man. Pat Mahomes is next. I say most only because I remember Megatron because of the injuries. You're talking about the best wide receiver, Big Drake? Tana, can you do ring? I got no voice right now. I've been doing too many live streams. Will you ring my bell? There you go. I tried my best. Sanchez was a terrible quarterback. Sanchez was not a good quarterback, but the Jets definitely didn't help him out. They definitely screwed up his head. He got them to 2 AFC title games, though. There was no need to bring in Tim Tebow or even Michael Vick, who at that point was like 35. Didn't make sense. You don't invest in an early first-round pick that got you to 2 AFC title games and then turn and do that. Hypothetically, would you trade Barkley for 2 for? Yes. But it's not going to happen. But yes. Hypothetically, yes. Bro, you can sing a little. Yeah, I got a decent voice. when my voice isn't like dead from doing too many live streams, I got a decent voice. That's why people ask me to sing that sometimes. That was good, Chris. Sabrina says, I appreciate that. This just in, the Eagles signed all top 100. Yes, Frosty. They signed the top 200 players. Taney said, would you prefer Randy? Oh, would I prefer Randy Moss or Megatron? Ooh, wow. That's a good one. I got to go Randy Moss. Randy Moss they're both unbelievable. I'll go slightly Randy Moss, but it's so close. So close. New mock on the way soon. Yes, I'm going to have a mock, actually. I'm going to have another 7-round Giants mock where I take Isaiah Simmons because I had a lot of people asking me to do that and kind of show the effect it would have on the 2nd and 3rd round picks if we take Isaiah Simmons first. So I'm going to do a mock draft, a 7-round Giants mock draft where I take Isaiah Simmons. And, I'll probably have a first-round mock draft in a week or two where, leading up into the draft. But, yeah, I'm going to have another 7-round mock draft the next couple days, maybe in like 3 days for the Giants. And can we do a trade mock? Yeah, I'm going to do a trade mock. My next first-round mock draft will be a trade mock. And I'll probably have a couple of what-if videos. What if the Giants make a trade with the Raiders? What players could we be looking at? What if they make a trade with the Dolphins? Realistic, potential trade partners, the Jaguars. Do you think Ruggs could be the first wide receiver off the board? I don't. You know what? I can't say not. If a team is enamored with his speed, yeah, but he shouldn't be. What do you think of Darius Slayton catching passes and training with Cam Newton? I like Darius Slayton. I think, and obviously that makes sense. They both went to Auburn. Slayton was a lot better in terms of hands and route running than I anticipated last year. I think he was a much more complete wide receiver than I think a lot of Giants fans anticipated going into the year. I think a lot of us viewed him as just kind of like a vertical threat. I think Slayton's going to be a really good wide receiver. And, definitely, it can't hurt. Catching balls from Newton, working out hard in the offseason. Why not, man? What's going on, Trevor? Thanks for popping in the stream. He thinks Ruggs is going to the Jets. I would not be happy if I was a Jets fan and they took Ruggs. That would be a bad decision. Bad decision. Do you think this will affect football season? It might start later, but no, I don't think it's going to cancel the season. I hope it doesn't start later, but I won't rule that out. But no, I think we'll have a season. Sir Rap says, stand up. Late to the party. Did we already discuss OT in the draft? We discussed it, but I'll always be open to discuss it more if you want to ask a question. I basically said right now Wills and Thomas are probably my top two in terms of if I'm looking for a left tackle. I do like Wirfs a lot, though. I like Wirfs' athleticism, his ability to get out in front of Barkley. But if I'm looking strictly for a left tackle, it's either, for me, it's probably either Wills or Thomas at this point in time. No, Cam's not coming to the Giants. Was that the question? Cam's not coming to the Giants. What happened to Will Hernandez? Will Hernandez was on a bad offensive line last year, and I think that definitely contributed to his poor play. Being that he was paired up next to Nate Solder. The Giants did not have a very good offensive line, so that had something to do with it, but he definitely regressed. This is a huge year for Will Hernandez. He's got to take a step forward this year. Malik, man, thanks so much, man, for the love, man. $5 donation. He says, Chris, I pray that Zimenez, Slayton, and all the second-year players don't have that sophomore slump. Yeah, that's definitely something to be concerned with. For sure. We saw it this year with B.J. Hill. B.J. Hill had a sophomore slump this year. Lorenzo Carter, I think, didn't do as well as some people anticipated coming into the year. Saquon Barkley, obviously, you could attribute a lot of it to the injuries, but yeah, we all hope that the guys that stood out as rookies definitely improve this year in their second season and do not regress. And hopefully that's not the case. Slayton might see more attention this year, so I wouldn't rule it out, but I do believe in Slayton, especially in this offense. If they could block, I think he's a vertical threat. I think he's going to fit very nicely with this system. So I think Slayton's going to have a really good year, and I think the same for Zimenez. Gordon Gecko, man, thanks so much, man, for the love, man. $5 donation. He says, just asking, would you be against or do you think the NFL will ever change it from the Lombardi Trophy to the Belichick Trophy, and does he deserve it? Okay. First, does he deserve it? Bill Belichick's the greatest coach who ever lived. I don't even think it's a debate. Bill Belichick gets more talent out of the players on his roster than any player in any sport I've ever watched. So he's the greatest coach who ever lived. Will the NFL change it? No. Bill Belichick and the NFL don't have the best relationship, right? With all the Spygate and the all these scandals. You had it last year with the Kraft Productions. So no, I don't think they would ever do it. But in terms of is he deserving of it, I think Bill Belichick's the greatest coach who ever coached. So yeah, I put him above Lombardi. Bill Belichick is unbelievable. What he's able to get out of his players. So does he deserve to be credited as the best coach? Yes. Would the NFL ever do it? No. They don't have a good relationship. Let's see what we got here. Blue Jackets, and good question, by the way. That was definitely an interesting question, Gordon. Blue Jackets with a $2 donation. He says, if you had to guess, where do the top 4 linemen go? If I had to guess right now, I think the Giants take a lineman. I think the Cardinals take a lineman. I think the Jets take a lineman. And I think the Browns take a lineman. And if the Jets don't take a lineman, I think it'll be the Giants, Cardinals, Browns, and the Dolphins. I'll say the Dolphins get the 4th, maybe. Yeah. So there you go. Prime J.J. Watt or prime Michael Strahan. That's really close. But J.J. Watt was. I think I'd go J.J. Watt, but he was short-lived. I think J.J. Watt at his best was slightly better than Michael Strahan at his best, but overall, I'd take Michael Strahan because he didn't have the injury problems. Would you take Odell back? I don't want Odell back. I don't want Odell back. I know Bad Dog is doing this, but can you do a vid on the best offensive tackles? But unlike Bad Dog, can you, all the linemen, including Josh Jones and Jackson? Yeah, Ezra, somebody asked me to do a video on second-round tackle prospects, so I'm going to do a video on that. I may do a video on that tomorrow, talking about second-round tackle prospects. If we take Isaiah Simmons, I'll probably title it like something, if the Giants draft Isaiah Simmons in the first round, who is the best potential tackle prospect in the second, something like that. I'm going to do a video on that probably tomorrow. Probably going to do that tomorrow. I was asked to do that tonight, so I'm going to do a video on that tomorrow. I'm not going to talk about the first-round prospects. I'm going to talk about the second-round prospects. Someone get this man a cannoli already. That's right. Fire. I don't know when they're releasing it, Nikki. I did it with them today. I'd assume they release it tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, we did the podcast today. It was a lot of fun. We talked for a while. It was like an hour and 10 minutes. So I think their pods are normally like 45 minutes. We talked for a while. It was a lot of fun. I talked to them after. We're going to be working together again. I don't know if we're going to make it a weekly thing, bi-weekly thing, whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be working with them more in the future. I've always had a lot of respect for Mike Too Nice's channel. And I like both those guys a lot as well. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I look forward to working with them more. Malik, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, you're right. He built the Brown team from bad to almost making the Super. Yeah, I mean, the Browns won a playoff game. Bill Belichick's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. And then obviously he took over a Patriot team. And you look at all the players that he brings in from other teams. I mean, Wes Welker, well, who was he? He was okay with the Dolphins. Danny Woodhead. The Jets cut Danny Woodhead. There's so many. I mean, all those wide receivers. Deion Branch, what is he? All these guys. He's turned them into superstars when they play for New England. I mean, it's incredible. Oh, Muhammad, man, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate the $10 donation. Hey, Chris, been watching your vids forever, and this is me showing my support. Keep doing your thing. Go Big Blue, man. Wow, man, thank you so much, man. Muhammad, man, I really appreciate that. Thank you for all your love and all your support, man. And I'm going to continue to put out the videos. You already got a preview of the video I'm doing tomorrow. I'm definitely going to do the it won't be a film breakdown, like I said, but it's going to be it'll be talking about which tackles I think the New York Giants could target in the second round. If we decide to go with Isaiah Simmons in the first. So be on the lookout for that. I'm sure I'll have at least probably one more up tomorrow. I took a day off today. There wasn't a lot of news. But, I always try to give you guys a daily video whenever I can. And I really appreciate that, Muhammad, man. Thank you for all your support, man. And thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Prime Palomalu or Prime Ray Lewis? I got to go Ray Lewis. I mean, Palomalu was such a fun player. Palomalu was one of my favorite players ever that wasn't a Giant. I used to love watching Palomalu play. The way that they moved him around, he was a really fun safety to watch. But I got to go Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is the best middle linebacker of my lifetime. Palomalu is one of the best safeties, but I got to go Ray Lewis. But I loved Palomalu. Chris Leon, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, Dolan getting the virus is amazing for Nick fans. I don't know about that. I think he's still going to own the team. I mean, hopefully he doesn't pass away. No, I don't think anybody should be rooting for that. So hopefully he gets healthy and all that. But Chris Leon, man, I know you love Tom Coughlin. Maybe Tom Coughlin will take over the Knicks. Oh, man. Your sleeper player this year on the defense. I'll just tell you the guys that I think are going to improve. I don't know if any of them are sleepers, but I'll say Lorenzo Carter. I guess he's a sleeper because I think the popular pick of guys that are going to improve are DeAndre Baker and Zimenez. And I do think both of them will improve. But in terms of maybe somebody that a lot of people don't think will take a big step that I think definitely could, I like Lorenzo Carter. I like the way that they could potentially use him in this defense. And I think with better coaching, he's getting his former linebacker coach from Georgia. He's part of the coaching staff now. I think Lorenzo Carter could have a really nice season. You heard Dolan has no more symptoms. All right. What's going on, Nations? Oh, yeah. Palmo's Head and Shoulders commercials were great, man. Coughlin or Bill Leonard Williams is a good one, too, Gordon Gecko. I could see Leonard Williams performing very well in this defense. Coughlin or Bill Parcells? You got to go Bill Parcells. Coughlin came from Bill Parcells. They have an equal amount of Super Bowls. The only argument for Coughlin over Parcells is that Coughlin won Super Bowls with less talent, right? Those Lawrence Taylor teams were definitely more talented than the Eli Manning teams. So that's the one argument that could be made, but you got to go Bill Parcells. Especially, the other thing I'll say, man, Coughlin was successful with Jacksonville too. A lot of younger Giant fans don't realize they went to 2 AFC title games. They were consistently winning that division. Coughlin is a great coach, but Parcells had so much success in other stops too. The Jets, he turned them from like a 1-15 team to an AFC Championship appearance. The Patriots, he got to a Super Bowl. I got to go Parcells, but Coughlin was a great coach. Who's better? Prime J.J. Watt, not named LT. J.J. Watt's up there. He's one of the greatest pass rushers ever when he was at his best. Bruce Smith, Reggie White are probably still better, but he's up there. Never understood why the Rams gave Goff that kind. I think their reasoning was they were trying to beat the market. They probably figured Goff's going to be here long term. I'd rather give him the extension now, pay him a more affordable rate. But obviously last year that deal blew up in their face. Didn't look very good. Let's see what we got here. Prime J.J. Watt or Aaron Donald. That's close. That's close, man. I got to go Aaron Donald just because of how disruptive he is at that position. I think when you could get a defensive tackle that could do what Aaron Donald does, that is so ridiculous. Because not only is he getting that amount of sacks, he's also collapsing the pocket and getting more sacks for his teammates from the interior part of the line. I got to go with Aaron Donald, but they're both unbelievable football players. I hope we get an extension on Leonard before the season. You and me both, man. I wouldn't mind Leonard here long term on the right price. $12, $13 million for 4 years. I wouldn't mind that, especially when you factor in the market, how it's going to, jump up after this year. But I want to get him on the right price. Prime Ed Reed or Brian Dawkins? I'm going to go Ed Reed. I'm not. That's not just my hate for the Eagles. I hated Brian Dawkins. But I'm going to go Ed Reed. Ed Reed's probably the greatest safety since I've watched football. I didn't get to see Rodney Lott in his prime. I saw him at the end of his career. I remember watching him with the Jets as a kid. But yeah, I go Ed Reed. Godfather 1 or Godfather 2? Ooh, I gotta go Godfather 1, man. They're both phenomenal movies. I love Marlon Brando, and Marlon Brando was so good in the first one. So because of that, I gotta go Godfather 1, but Godfather 2 was phenomenal. Who's my favorite Giants DB on this team or all time? All time, the thing is, there haven't been a lot of great. I say this a lot. Since I've been watching the team, there have not been a lot of great Giant DBs. Jason Seorn sticks out. Antrell Roll sticks out. On this team, I'll still go with DeAndre Baker. I like Baker coming out of college. I'm going to roll with him. All time, I'll probably go Seorn. Webster was another pretty good one, yeah. Webster was solid for the Giants. He's actually an underrated Giant. Webster's one of the more underrated Giants, I feel. He was a pretty good corner there for a little bit. Prime Woodson or Ty Law? I got to go Woodson. Ty Law was really good, but I got to go Woodson. Oh, God, Bethea, garbage. Yes, Raymond, I think he is. Oh, man, Blue Jackets talk, man. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that, man. $5 donation. He says, what's going on, Royal Prophet? Thanks for popping in the stream. Blue Jacket says, from an outsider looking into the Giants, I think they take Wirfs because of his versatility to play the guard and the tackle. What's your thoughts? It's funny that you say that, Blue Jackets talk. I had Wirfs going to the New York Giants, and that's part of my reasoning. I do think that the ability, if he doesn't work out at tackle, and the fact that I think he could be a great guard, could play something into it. The other reason why I think Wirfs is going to, right now at least, this could change. I might change my opinion in 2 weeks when we start hearing leaks and stuff like that. They've been linked to Wirfs for like 2 months. There's been reports from Ralph Vacchiano, from Kim Jones, that the Giants were very interested in Wirfs when it wasn't popular to be interested in Wirfs before the Combine. Then he had a really impressive Combine. So that's why I'm in agreement with you. If I had to pick a guy that I think the Giants are going to take, I think it's going to be Wirfs if they take a tackle. Terry McLaurin, Ryan. Terry McLaurin. But they're both really good, but Terry McLaurin. Royal says, if Daniel Jones has a disaster year, are you giving up on him? No. Yeah, somebody asked me that earlier, Royal. No. If he's bad after his third year, I might. But this is his second year. It's a completely new offense. I think people have to realize that before the year starts. You got a shortened offseason, so he doesn't have enough time to work out with his teammates, to learn the playbook to the full capacity, learn with the coaches. Everything's closed right now. So that plays a factor. He could definitely get off to a slow start because of that. He's learning a completely new offense. So if I'm being honest with you, I think Daniel Jones is going to struggle the first 3 or 4 games this year. I hope that's not the case, but you're asking a guy, a second-year quarterback, to learn a completely new offense, and he doesn't have a full offseason to learn it. So, no, I'm not giving up on Daniel Jones if he struggles this year. Not even a little bit. What's up, Lake Nona? Thank you for popping in the stream, man. What's up, Tyrick? Thank you for popping in the stream. Prime Ogden or Pace. Oh, God, those were both great offensive linemen. That's like splitting hairs. They're both phenomenal. Both phenomenal. Chris, do you think Zimenez will get more snaps? Yes, I do, Simon. I do. I think he only got about... I don't remember the number. I'm pretty sure it was below 50%. I think it was 48%. I think he took 48% of the snaps last year. I think you see an increase this year for sure, yeah. I think he's going to have a good year. I really do. If we were to trade the fourth, who would be the most realistic partner, and who could... I think the Chargers are the most realistic partner, and I think that you're still getting the same player you would have taken at 4 at 6. So a tackler, Simmons, and I think you get a second-round pick. And probably a future second or third on top of it. Let's see what we got here. Last time I cried? I'll give you a sports one. Last time I cried over a sports game was, I don't know, it wasn't like an emphatic cry, but, I teared up a little bit. The first Super Bowl that Eli won, 2008 against the undefeated Patriots. I teared up a little bit. I think that's the last time I teared up over a sports moment. Yeah. Oh, Malik, man, thanks so much, man, for the love, man. Chris, I'm from Long Island. $5 donation from Malik. He says, I'm about to head to bed. Don't forget Chase Claypool, Lawrence Taylor, or Ray Lewis, Michael Strahan, or Justin Tuck, prime Victor Cruz versus Wes Welker. Malik, man, I hope you get some sleep. And in terms of those comparisons, Lawrence Taylor versus Ray Lewis, that's close. They're both incredible players. I'm going Lawrence Taylor. Michael Strahan or Justin Tuck, I got to go Strahan. As much as I love Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan to me is one of the top 5 or 6, 7 defensive ends ever. So I got to go Strahan. And Victor Cruz at his best for that 1 year, in my opinion, was better than Wes Welker ever was. As a player, I'm going Wes Welker. Wes Welker's probably headed to the Hall of Fame, but Victor Cruz in his prime at his best was better than Wes Welker at his best. So have a good night, buddy. Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's going on, Big Bang? Thanks for popping in the stream. How much do you like the Garrett hire? I like the Garrett hire. I'm a fan of the Garrett hire. A lot of people were upset when we brought him in. I don't hate it. Obviously people don't like that he was a Cowboy. He's a failed head coach. But what people got to remember, he's not being hired to be a head coach. He's being hired for the position why he got the opportunity to become a head coach. So he was successful as a coordinator, just like I think Pat Shurmur is going to do a good job with the Broncos. Some coordinators don't make good head coaches. Garrett turned a undrafted quarterback into a borderline Hall of Famer with Tony Romo as an offensive coordinator. The Cowboys consistently had a top 10 offense in football while he was an offensive coordinator with the Cowboys. I like him. He's going to bring veteran leadership to the coaching staff. I like him in his position. I think he's going to do a good job. I like the hire. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, and he's gonna clap a lot. And he's gonna clap a lot. And he was a giant, Gordon, exactly. Would you be in a worse situation if we hired Louis Riddick as the GM and took Haskins? You might be. You definitely might be. I mean, at the end of the day, no matter what, as much as people may criticize Dave Gettleman, at the end of the day, if Gettleman turns out to be right about Daniel Jones, this is one thing that Gettleman's going to be able to hang his hat on no matter what if he gets fired. If he gets fired after this year, or he gets fired after the next year, and Daniel Jones goes on to be a great quarterback and the Giants win Super Bowls, Dave Gettleman's going to be just as credited as whoever took his job for those Super Bowls because he found the franchise quarterback and he drafted the guy when nobody said he should have drafted him. So at the end of the day, Dave Gettleman's legacy as the New York Giants general manager is going to come down to Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. If those guys turn out to be great pros and they win Super Bowls, even with Gettleman gone, if he does get fired in a year or two, he's going to be widely credited with those Super Bowls. So, yeah. Have a great night, Malik, man. Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Jones was Shermer's pick. Well, no, I think it was a collaboration. Shermer might have influenced a bit, but Gettleman's still the general manager. He still had say in the selection. Gettleman still deserves some credit for it. You got to. If you're gonna bash Gettleman for every little thing, I'm not saying you do, but if people are gonna bash Gettleman for every little thing, you got to give him credit for his draft picks if he hits on them. So it's not going to go down in credit for Pat Shermer for making the pick. It's going to go down in credit for Dave Gettleman for making that pick if it works out. Have a great night, Royal. Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Big Bang, man. Thanks so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, Fisk said that Daniel Jones got robbed of the Rookie of the Year award. Do you agree? I don't think any quarterback should have got it. I think the running back from the Raiders should have got it. But I do think that he should have gotten it over Kyler Murray. So my answer to that would be no. But if a quarterback was going to get it, Daniel Jones should have got it. I think Jacob should have got the Rookie of the Year from the Raiders. But Jones had a better year than Murray. So that's my answer to that. Yeah, same for pick number 4 this year. Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm telling you right now, at the end of the day, Gettleman's legacy as the New York Giants general manager will be tied to Daniel Jones and it'll be tied to Saquon Barkley. If those players win his championships, you can hate Gettleman all you want. You can say he did a lot of bad things. He's going to get a lot of credit for those Super Bowls. Just like Ernie, of course, he did with Eli Manning. So his legacy will be tied in terms of success with the New York Giants to Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Are you keeping Will Hernandez or Dexter Lawrence if you had to choose between the two? Tough question. Wow. Wow. I don't want to have to choose between the two. I want to keep both. We need both those players. We need a guard. We need an interior defensive lineman. If I had to pick one, I mean, Dexter Lawrence is a better football player at this point in their careers, but you could definitely argue that the guard's more important because we need that. We need as many pieces on that offensive line as we can get. I don't know, man. I want to keep both, though. I don't even want to think about that. I like Gettleman, too. I definitely think Gettleman does some things that make you scratch your head, and he's not perfect, but no GM is. And he's definitely a guy that's going to do it his way. He's stubborn, and sometimes that's going to get him in trouble, and he's going to make mistakes. But as I always say, I try to be fair and unbiased on this channel, and I'm not saying everybody's like this. I think that there's legitimate reasons not to like Dave Gettleman, and I'm fair. I try to be fair when I judge him, but I think a lot of people will nitpick the small things that he did wrong, and that's fair. They'll nitpick the Jonathan Stewart signing. They'll nitpick the Alec Ogletree trade, which I think is understandable. They needed a linebacker. It was a 5th-round pick, whatever. They'll nitpick small signings that he screwed up on. But they won't give him credit for the small signings he hit on. He hit on a lot of small signings. You don't hear any of these people that bash Gettleman give him credit for David Mayo. You don't hear him give him credit for Cody Core. There's a bunch of players that he's brought in on small, Marcus Golden. There's a bunch of players. So I think you go both ways with that. I think there's good. I think there's bad. I think that's a lot of ways with a lot of GMs. And I think overall he's drafted well. You could definitely argue he shouldn't have taken Saquon Barkley when he did. And the Leonard Williams trade was abysmal. I'm with you on that. Let's see what we got here. Best tackle, guard, center in and God. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to think about that, Raymond. Have you watched any film on Patrick Graham? Yes, I did a little bit. I did a little bit. I want to do a video on that, Ryan. It's just going to take me a while to put that together because I got to take clips from different games, but I have. And it's really interesting the way that they send blitzes in that defense. It's incredibly unpredictable. The one formation that I saw a few times that I thought was really interesting, there's some times there with the Dolphins last year, they would have 6 guys up at the line of scrimmage, all standing upright, as if they're outside linebackers. It was a unique formation. It was completely different than what you'd normally see. They weren't hunched over. Everybody was standing upright. 6 men up at the line of scrimmage, and then some would drop back in coverage, some would go forward. It would be unpredictable. So I expect them to bring something like that to the New York Giants. There was a couple of interesting formations, though, for sure, that he'll bring to the table. Yeah, love his defense. A lot of puts a lot of pressure on the. What's going on, Les, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. I didn't get the notification. Don't worry about it, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. Not including O-line, what is the next group that needs help on the Giants? Linebacker, coverage linebacker, pass rusher. Those two, for sure. Kelsey or Kittle, I think I'm going, that's close. I think I'll go Kittle, but that's really close. It could definitely be Kelsey. Yeah, somebody asked me about Willie Gay Jr. earlier, Delia. I'm going to do more research on I know him, but I'm going to do more research on him before I give you a definitive answer on that. Ogletree or Martinez? I'll go Martinez. I don't love either one, but I'll go Martinez. What's going on there, Edward Howard? Would you marry Ariana Grande or Rihanna? All right, we're getting interesting questions here. I don't know. I guess Rihanna. I don't know. They're both hot. Seau or Urlacher? I'll go Seau. They're both great linebackers, but I'll go Seau. Sup, Chris? Sorry I missed it. Nick, you never have to apologize, man. What's going on, Abrar, man? I appreciate that, buddy. What is the biggest rule change you want to see in the NFL? Ooh, that's a good question, Gordon Gecko. It's something that I've never really thought about. Well, the first thing, I want them to get rid of the pass interference challenge. I was in favor when they did it, but it completely was stupid because nobody overturns anything and teams waste timeouts. So that I think they should get rid of, or they should start calling the pass interferences. I think that the one thing that I think was an interesting, I don't know if the NFL will ever do it, but I do like the kickoff rule with the XFL. I do like that. I thought that was cool. I think it lessens the possibility of a concussion. It also increases the chances of the player returning the ball, on the kickoff, which are exciting plays. So I do like that. I don't know if they'll institute that. I thought that could be a potential interesting rule change. Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, those are two things. What's up, Ricardo? Thanks for popping in the stream. Sorry I'm late. Yeah, Sam, you never have to apologize, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. New York for life, man. Thank you so much for... Oh, $2 donation. $2. He wants me to say the K word again. $2 donation from New York for life. He says, pineapple on pizza or ketchup on a steak. Neither. I don't know why anybody would ever put ketchup on the K word on a steak. You only get it once out of me when you donate. And I've never had pineapple on a pizza. I can't imagine it being that good. I have people swearing by it that it is good. Hawaiian pizza. But yeah, I would never do either. If I'm putting anything on a steak, it's steak sauce. I don't put the K word on ketchup. I put the K word on burgers. Could we give D Rose a mod? Absolutely give D Rose a mod. Next time he comments, I'll try to give it to him. Chris, do you think Graham will be a much bigger improvement over Betcher? It's hard to say. I mean, the thing with Betcher, I try to be fair here, man. Peter Luger's is great. I try to be fair. The thing with Betcher, I don't think Betcher was a horrible defensive coordinator. I just think Betcher came to a team where we didn't have the players to fit his system. I think the Giants they didn't have the team that was ready to shift to the 3-4. I think they tried to force something that wasn't there. I just think he was a bad hire. I think he's a guy that could be a good GM in the right situation. I just think the Giants weren't the right situation. I think Patrick Graham is going to be put in a better situation. He has a head coach that is in lockstep with him in terms of, defensive philosophy. So, and I think we have players that could fit that defense. So, I'll go Patrick Graham will have more success. Best value in 2009. It's got to be Slayton, man. Can you list the? Can you Fiegels, Raymond, off the top of my head, is the best punter in New York Giants history. Best kicker. I mean, in my lifetime, there haven't been many great ones. Tynes obviously made the Super Bowl twice with him, but he wasn't a great kicker. In my lifetime, there haven't been great ones. But Fiegels was the best punter I've ever seen. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. The linebackers. Right now, the linebackers, I mean, I would go Blake Martinez is definitely starting. If Conley's healthy, I'm going to say Conley right now is starting at the other spot in the middle, which by all accounts he's going to be. And then on the edge, I'd probably go, right now, I'd probably go with O'Shane, Zimenez, and Fackrell, with Lorenzo Carter getting a lot of time, subbing in. That would probably be my 4 starting linebackers right now. Stand up, Josh Latore. Thanks for popping in the stream. Would you consider Brees the top 3 quarterback ever? No. And I don't like to be a guy that comes across as a guy that hates on Drew Brees. I do not hate on Drew Brees. My honest opinion on Drew Brees, and he's a clear Hall of Famer. He's a clear first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a great quarterback. Drew Brees is overrated. I don't think Drew Brees belongs in the top 5 argument. And I have my reasons. My reasons is the guy played for Sean Payton, one of the smartest offensive minds in the history of football. He played in a dome. You look at his splits inside the dome and outside the dome, there is a gigantic difference. You're talking about a QB rating of 92 outdoors for his career. We're not talking about one individual season compared to like a 107 in a dome. So I think the dome definitely helped his stats. I think playing with Sean Payton definitely helped his stats. I think he played in an offense that fit his skill set perfectly. I think Drew Brees is a phenomenal quarterback. I think in the fantasy day and age, people view him as a top 5 quarterback ever because of his statistics. I just don't. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I do not think he's a top 5 quarterback ever. What's going on, New York? What's going on, Kush? Thanks for popping in the stream. Drew Brees is your dad, Les said. Same with Peyton. Yeah, but Peyton demonstrated he did it in Denver too. Peyton threw for 55 touchdowns in Denver. But yeah, Peyton was clearly not as good outside of the dome. I still think Peyton is phenomenal. He's the smartest quarterback of all time. You deserve sleep. Oh yeah, I'm going to sleep soon, man. I'm going to sleep soon. Love the show. I check every day. Good job, bro. I appreciate that, Peter. Thank you very much. Joe Montana at Rice Walsh, Peyton at Harrison Wayne, Brady at Belichick, and the greats. Yo, the greats always help. No doubt about it. Should the No, they're not going to retire Diassi's number. Mike Ditka or Bill Walsh? I got to go Bill Walsh. Mike Ditka was a great coach, but Bill Walsh was kind of like Belichick before Belichick. I mean, he was the most innovative offensive mind probably ever. Yeah, I got to go Bill Walsh. No, I don't, actually, Bradley. I don't think we would have ended up with Daniel Jones had we taken, unless we traded up. But if we stayed at 17, no. I don't think we would have gotten Daniel Jones. On draft night, I thought we would have. But no, in hindsight, I honestly think Daniel Jones would have been selected before we picked at 17. But I think there might have been an ability to trade up. I think we could have maybe moved up to 9 or 10 and ended up with both players. But no, if we stayed at 17, I honestly don't think we end up with Daniel Jones. Best YouTube keep. I appreciate that, Big Blue Nation. Thank you very much, buddy. D Rose needs. Where's D Rose? Let me find him. There he is. There you go. D Rose got that mod now. D Rose got that mod. You're a GM. Are you drafting Darnold or Jones? That's really tough for me, man. Right now I'm going Jones, but I still think Darnold could be better. I think that question has not been answered yet. I think it could still be either quarterback. Tana, you got that yummy. I don't even know what that means. I honestly do not even know what that means. Good night, everyone. I got to get some sleep. Jeffrey, man, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the support on the channel. 30,000 subs by kickoff season. We'll see. I always set my goal for the, my goal this year at the end of the NFL season was 20,000 subs. I don't know what my goal is going to be. I got to see what my starting sub count was. I think my starting sub count at the start of the season last year was right around 9K. And my goal was 20K at the end. And I hit 20K the morning of the Super Bowl. So I don't know what my sub goal will be at the end of next football season. We'll have to wait and see what the starting count is. But yeah, 25K would be a nice number. I'm hoping to at least be at by the start of the NFL season next year if it starts on time. 30K would be a great starting point. We'll see. Good night, man. Stay safe, you too, bro. I hope everybody stays safe out there. Stand up, Moose. Herm Edwards or Tony Dungy? I got to go Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy won a Super Bowl. 50K, I mean, that would be great. That'd be great. I mean, I definitely hope to get to 50K eventually. I would love to get there by the end of next football season. That'd be a big jump. But I'm going to be putting out a lot more content too, so we'll see. You know, obviously, I one thing I've learned on YouTube, as your channel gets bigger, it's like a snowball effect. You know, as you get more people to view your videos, you get subscribers quicker. So my goal is I'm hoping for a bigger gain in subs this NFL season than the previous NFL season. I'll say that. So if I gained 11,000 last season, I'm hoping for at least maybe 15. You know, depending on if I stream as much as I did. So we'll see where I start. You'll be at 1 million soon. Oh, I appreciate the words of encouragement, man. I really appreciate that, man. Let's see. You're a Notre Dame fan. Your thoughts on Ian Book? I mean, I don't think he's going to be. I don't view him as a real good prospect at the quarterback position for the NFL. I liked him. Do you have merch? I do. I got to update the merch though. I got to make it better. I do have merch, but I got to improve it. I kind of just threw it together. I want to get really good merch. And that's another thing I want to you know, get going right by the start of next NFL season. Chris, more people home now. This is the time to push. Yeah, I mean, Gordon, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to put out. It's hard. You know, I don't want to force content. You know, and I don't want to force live streams either. I never want to be one of those YouTubers who goes live and I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to have nothing to talk about. So that's why I'm trying to space these live streams out. You know, maybe once every 3 or 4 days, do two a week, plus the Giant Show with Bad Dog, alternating channels. And yeah, I try to give you guys at least a video a day whenever I can. And I'll definitely I'll probably have 2 up tomorrow for sure. Yeah, man, and yeah, man, I'm always gonna be grinding, Gordon. Always gonna be grinding. Scottzilla says, "Piano Man." All right, I'm gonna give you a quick verse, man. We want to see your pretty face. Makeup Minion says, just for Scott, just for Scott. What's up there, Dark Demonic? Dark Demonic. I'll just do one quick verse, and my voice is shot, Scott. So don't expect the best performance in the world. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. 'Cause we're all in the mood for a melody. And Scott's got us feeling alright. There you go, Scott. There's the piano man. How old are you? I am 34 years old. 34 years young. 34 years young. Alex is funny, man. Marjorie says, love it, love it, love it. That was terrible, Gordon Gecko says. You guys are funny, man. You guys are funny, man. I'd buy a shirt with that logo. Yeah, I think I have a shirt with the logo. If on the videos, if you look on the bottom, you should see a shirt with the logo, man. Real New York Giants, man. I appreciate it, man. Chris, relax. My girlfriend just left me. Jake is funny, man. Would you run a faster 40 than Nate Solder? Probably not. Probably not. Fernando's deaf. How many Giants players do you think will crack the 2020 NFL Network top 100 list? Saquon Barkley, and that's it. I think one. I think we have too many young. Bradbury 2 maybe. Yeah, I'll go Bradbury 2 possibly. Maybe 2. Yeah, I'll go 2. 2 players. I'll go Barkley and Bradbury. Hide your woman, boys. American Idol should hire you. That was so beautiful. Stealth, man. Let's see what we got here. Favorite Billy Joel song, Chris? Mine is probably... that's a great... I'm a huge Billy Joel. There are so many I've seen Billy Joel live 4 times. Obviously because I'm from Long Island. There's like I got like 50 favorite Billy Joel songs. I love it. I mean, my favorite Billy Joel song is probably if you're not a Billy Joel fan, you're not gonna know the song. But Downeaster Alexa, I love. That's probably my favorite Billy Joel song. Downeaster Alexa. Josh Satori, man, thank you so much, man, for the he does have a song called The Entertainer. For the $5 donation, I really appreciate that, man. He says, can't wait for this draft, even though it's going to be done via Skype call, really hoping for Simmons or trading back for picks and a tackle. I think that's the perfect scenario for me, is the trading back and still getting that tackle. That's what I'm rooting for. I want to trade back and get that tackle. But like I said, if we get Simmons at 4, Josh, you're not gonna see any flipping out. I'll be excited. I'll buy his jersey that night. I'd be very happy to get Simmons as well. But yeah, my perfect scenario on draft night, we trade down, we get assets, and we get our tackle. Randy Johnson. I mean, Pettit was great. Probably the greatest Yankee starting pitcher. One definitely up there ever. But Randy Johnson. I mean, Randy Johnson's in my lifetime, one of the 4 best starting pitchers I've ever seen. I mean, Greg Maddux, Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens. If you don't count steroids, are probably the top 4. Randy Johnson was incredible, dominant. Not for the Yankees, but he was incredible. I like Seinfeld. I Friends and Seinfeld, but yeah, I prefer Seinfeld to Friends. But yeah, I like both a lot. How do you feel about the right tackle position? Do you see Nick Gates or Fleming starting if we draft a tackle? I don't like the right tackle position right now, but I do. If we don't draft a tackle, yes, I think Fleming's going to start there, or Gates. But I think they're going to try Gates at the center possibly. If you ask me right now, if we don't draft an early round tackle, I think Fleming will get the first crack. But I think we're going to draft the tackle. Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, you don't want to know my answer. I pass. I don't want to get people upset. Who is your favorite O-lineman? Probably Hernandez. Probably Hernandez because he's young. I think Zeitler's the best one right now, but probably Hernandez. I've seen the lights go out on Broadway. Right. Do you like Harry Styles, Chris? Do I like Harry Styles? Harry Styles. No, I don't know off the top of my head. Who's Harry Styles? Is that I know I probably sound dumb asking that. I meant favorite online in the draft. Favorite online in the draft? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that. Who is our worst? Oh, One Direction. I don't listen. I'm not good with modern day music. I'm not that old, but I listen to older music. I've heard the name. I didn't know who it was though. Whose jersey are you gonna buy now? I mean, if we draft Simmons, it'll be Simmons. If it's not gonna be Simmons, I'll probably Slayton. If not Slayton, I'm kind of waiting. You know, if they take Simmons, I'm buying a Simmons jersey. But if not, I'll probably wait to get my next jersey because it's an investment. I want to make sure that they're good. If Slayton plays really well this year, which I think he will, I'll probably be Slayton. Oh, man, thank you so much, man. Manny with the $5 donation. He says, Chris, if you hit 1 million, will you? I'm going to remember everybody I'm never going to hit 1 million, but if I ever did, I remember everybody. Manny with the $5 donation, he says, I was nodding off with my 16-month-old on top of me, and I spring up to see if I was dreaming Tana singing Billy Joel. Welp, he's awake. Stand up. You never know what you're going to get when you come into a Tana stream. You know? No, when I first started on YouTube, I'd get a lot of song requests, and I would sing a lot of Billy Joel, and Scott's an old timer. He's been with my channel since, since I first started streaming. Always supported me. Scott's a great guy. So Scott came in. I had to show him some love. I had to sing a little Billy Joel for Scott. Remember me, of course, Sam, man. Who would you draft? I go offensive tackle, man. I go offensive tackle, man. How many home games? I went to one last year. I stream a lot of the games on YouTube, so. But I've already said I want to make it a point this year to try to go to 2. And I want to organize a get-together with a lot of the subscribers. You know, I'm trying to build up my community. I think it'd be really cool to, do a meet-up, a tailgate at the game, whatever. I want to try to go to 2, maybe even one on the road, one at home. I definitely want to organize something this year, though, for at least one. So, yeah, I'm going to try to go to 2 games this year, though, for sure. And, yeah, the Browns game is probably going to be one of them. As long as it's – I think it's going to be a night game. So, if it's a night game in January, I'm probably not going to pick that game because a lot of people probably aren't going to want to go out in the cold, especially if the Giants are a bad team, which we all hope they're not. But I'd rather it be earlier in the year when we're all excited and the game means something. If the Giants, if the Giants are like 2-11, like they were last, they weren't good when they played the Jets, whatever their record was, it wasn't that fun to go to. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but I'd rather go to the game earlier in the season. Because it's not too cold, and 2, because you still got a lot of hope, and hopefully we got hope later in the season, but I'd rather organize it for earlier in the year. Yeah, definitely, man, Dennis. I got to meet a few subscribers last year. It was really cool. Actually, a real quick story last year was the coolest experience since I've been on YouTube. Was going to that game. I got to meet obviously a lot of creators. I met One Giant Rebuttal. I met obviously Bad Dog. I met Kid Blue. I met Meet the Mets. I met Bones. I met a few other creators that I'm sure I'm forgetting. And the coolest thing was on the way out of the game, I was walking out with One Giant Rebuttal and Kid Blue, and we're leaving to get to our car, and this woman starts tearing up, and I'm like, and she's like, "Is that you?" And I was like, "What?" So the woman recognized me, and she was like tearing up, and basically her story was her and her husband were in the military, and they watched me, I guess, when they were stationed over in the military. So, I gave them the Giants news. So that was really cool. I took a picture with them and everything. That was probably the coolest thing. That was cool. But, yeah, I'd love to meet a lot of you guys at the game. I'd love to do that. Orange Giant Rebuttal. Yes, Big Drake. Tom Brady won more Super Bowl. It's possible. For the Bucs, it's definitely possible. Want to join your band, Montana? Yeah, why not? Why not? Vinatieri, I gotta go Vinatieri. Vinatieri is one of the probably the greatest kicker of all time. I want to have a beer with you. I want to have a beer with all you guys. Who's your favorite O-lineman in the draft? For the Giants right now, I'm leaning Wills. After watching all the film and Thomas or Wills for a left tackle. I love Wirfs, but Thomas or Wills. Oh, Gordon Gecko. I don't know the lyrics to that. Gordon Gecko. $2 donation. He says, "Let's see what you got. 50 Cent in the club. Go." I know like the chorus part. You could find me in the club, bottle full of bub. That's all I know. That's all I remember. I don't know the lyrics to that. I'm not a huge rap guy, but I remember that when I was a senior in high school. That's all I remember. What do I look like, Chris? You look like a lunatic, Sonor. You look like a lunatic, Sonor. Morton Anderson, no, you gotta go with Vinatieri, man. Do I play an instrument? No, I don't. Just my voice. Waiting on my Trump check so I could donate. Yeah, what is the Trump check, by the way? That was gonna be like I've heard conflicting numbers with that, but hopefully we all get one of those. Romo versus Cutler. Who you got? Gotta go Romo. Gotta go Romo, man. Come on, Chris. You gotta listen. I listen to a little rap. Jay-Z I used to listen to. I listen to a little rap, but I listen to a little bit of everything. How did you and Bad Dog meet? Well, we never met until the Giants game. Quick story. I mean, Bad Dog tells the story all the time, but when I first started on YouTube, I think I popped a couple of my subscribers. I didn't even know I think I'd seen a couple of his videos, but a couple of my subscribers asked me to collaborate with Bad Dog. So I just went into one of his live streams, and I think I said, yeah, if you ever want to do something together, let's do it. And then, he said, yeah. And I think I gave him my email, and we talked back and forth through email, and then he got my number, and he canceled the first show. I don't remember I don't think he said something came up, so he couldn't do the first show, and then we did the first show like a week later. So, yeah, it's not like a crazy story, but yeah, we met on YouTube, and then we met in person at the Giants game. We don't live close to each other. He lives like 5 hours away. He lives in like upstate New York. Do I listen to Justin Bieber? I've heard some of his songs. I get paid to sing, but more to stop. Montana. Chris, you follow me on I try to follow everybody on Twitter. I don't, sometimes I forget, because it doesn't always tell me when somebody follows me, but I try to follow everybody back on Twitter. Better playoff run, 2007 or 2. Oh. I'm good. Wow. I'm going to go 2007, but it's really close, but because it was the first one and you beat the undefeated Patriots. And I felt so good for Strahan. I felt so good for Eli the second time because it kind of cemented that he's a Hall of Fame quarterback and it backed up that he was elite. But the first one, you beat the undefeated Patriots. We all knew it was Strahan's last year, or it was going to be his second to last year. He was playing for that championship. Strahan that year, if you remember, he held out. He didn't go to training camp because he hated training camp. He didn't go to training camp that year. And I felt so happy for him. And it was so unexpected. The second one was still unexpected, but I remember when the playoffs started, I think most Giant fans were like, well, they could do it. They did it 4 years ago. The first time around, it was like a miracle. It was like, there's no way this will ever happen. So I got to go with the first one. But both of them are incredible. But I got to go with the first one. Christopher is the type of guy who would rather have coronavirus. What? What? But that's the same virus, Bavid. My biggest fear, never seeing one of my teams win a championship. The Mets, the Knicks, never getting to see them win a championship. I've seen the Giants win already. That's my biggest fear. Probably not my biggest fear, but in terms of sports, it is. Are you going to the game when Eli's number gets retired? I'm going, and I hope I do. Yeah, hopefully that's the Browns game. But yeah, I would love to go to that game. That's my favorite player of all time. I'm definitely going to go to Canton when he gets into the Hall of Fame. I don't know when it'll be, but so much to talk about the 2007 season. Yeah, Tiki criticizing 2007 season, and you beat the Cowboys. Terrell Owens bowling his eyes out. I mean, the Packers. I mean, the game at Lambeau Field is one of the most classic games of all time. I mean, you want to talk about old, gritty, -20, whatever it was with the wind. The cheeks on Coughlin look like he's going to pass out. I mean, some of the most classic games of all time. I mean, incredible. I mean, obviously, the 11 run, you had the 49er game. The 49er game was a classic game, too, but what really stood out in that was kind of Eli Manning's signature moment. When you talk to diehard Giants fans, they will always point to that game. They will point to the 2012, I guess it was, in the new year, NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers, where he just got destroyed the entire game. Never said a word to any of his offensive linemen. If you go back and watch that game, if you're a fan, I don't know if Sonor's still in here. If you're a non-Giants fan, you go back and watch that game, and you don't have respect for Eli Manning after that game, the way he got destroyed, never pointed the finger at a soul. He just got up, took the dirt out of his helmet, gets right back up, gets hit again, right in the ribs. That game was the defining moment of Eli Manning's career, but I still go with the 2008 Super Bowl run. Yeah, the whole get your popcorn ready moment, yeah. New York State of Mind. I'll do it next time. I'll do my next stream. I'll do a couple songs at the end for you guys my next time. Do you think Eli gets a statue outside of MetLife? It will be one on the ground. I honestly don't, Sir Rap, because Taylor obviously had his problems off the field, so maybe that's why. But if Taylor doesn't have a statue, as much as I love Eli Manning shouldn't have a statue. Lawrence Taylor's the greatest Giant ever. So I honestly don't think Eli will get a statue. But I could be wrong. Obviously, Taylor had his issues off the field, so maybe that's part of the reason why the Giants didn't do it. I would love to see it, but I honestly don't think he'll get one. Tuck or OC, I'm going Tuck. OC. In terms of a pure pass rusher, I'll go OC. In terms of a complete football player, I'll go Tuck. They were both great, though. Tana, before the NFL draft in 2018, what was your mindset for number 2? My honest mindset, I didn't want to take a quarterback. I did like Baker Mayfield, but I did not want to take a quarterback. I wanted to either trade down or take Saquon Barkley. That is my honest take. I was preferring the trade down, if I'm being completely honest. I wanted to trade down and for a team that wanted a quarterback, but I was not enamored with any of those quarterbacks. My ideal situation in 2018 was to trade down. And obviously get a lot for it. But if not, I was completely fine with Saquon Barkley. Yeah. Chris has the strongest bladder known to man. Do you think the season will get canceled? I do not. I honestly do not. I honestly do not think that the season will get canceled this year. My hobbies besides this, I'm a huge movie guy. I say that all the time. I almost made a movie channel instead of a sports channel when I first started. I'm a huge poker player. I used to be. I don't play poker as much as I used to, but I love playing cards. I like to travel when I can. I haven't been able to travel as much recently, but I've been to a lot of interesting places. Pretty standard hobbies. Is Haskins a bust? I don't think you can consider Haskins a bust yet. By the way, you should go to Broadway. I don't know about that. No, they don't. They don't. Giants, especially at the receiver position, they don't play well when they leave. You look like your favorite movie is I love The Godfather. Godfather's definitely up there. My favorite movie actually is a movie that you would never guess. I think a lot of people would never guess. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie of all time. Love that movie. I've probably watched that movie like 20 times. Each one of them. I love Lord of the Rings. Texas Hold'em all day, man. Do you think there will ever be a greater quarterback than Eli? I sure hope so. That's asking a lot. But, he won 2 Super Bowls. But obviously, I want a better quarterback than Eli Manning. That means that they're going to win me at least 2 Super Bowls. So, but it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. Shawshank Redemption is a great movie. That's up there for me. I love Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption is great. Pulp Fiction is great. Those are definitely up there for me. I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. I go to AC. I've been to AC in about maybe a year and a half, but yeah, I go to AC. I definitely go to AC. Favorite Lord of the Rings character? Wow. That changes for me, man. I really like. All of them have their strengths, man. That's what's so cool about that movie. Each character's got their strengths and their weaknesses. Gollum is really cool. Smeagol, Gollum, the whole split personality thing is really interesting, really cool. I'll tell you, my least favorite's probably Frodo. Frodo's kind of blah to me. I like Sam. Sam was cool. He was always there. Legolas is awesome with the bow and arrow. Aragorn is awesome. Gimli. I'll go with Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas. And Gollum. Those are probably my and Gandalf's cool too. I mean, I love all of them. I really do. Carlito's Way is a great. Oh, Carlito's Way is phenomenal, man. Carlito's Way is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I am still on Taco. We're gonna end this in like 5 minutes, but I am still on. What Giants game upset you? What Giants game upset would be the most satisfying to win this upcoming season? Eagles. Haven't beaten the Eagles in forever. Beat the Eagles. Beat the Eagles. That's definitely my favorite game. The game I want to win most. I want to beat the Eagles. I want to get that over with. Beat them once. Just once. I only need to beat them once this year. Beat them once. Collab with Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee's got like 1 million subscribers. So if you guys want to reach out to him and say, I think you should collab with this guy with this small channel, by all means, I would love to collab with Pat McAfee. What's going on, Thomas Price, man? One of my best, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. What about the OG? Oh, Bilbo Baggins, man. Bilbo Baggins is the man. Yeah, man. Bilbo Baggins, bro. I could DM him. I stealth that. I appreciate it, man. Same thing with EDP. I don't think EDP is going to be looking to collaborate with me, but if they ever would, by all means, man. I've collabed with Cop Pizzle. AJ Nix. I've collabed with him a bunch, actually. But yeah, I would definitely work with Cop Pizzle again. I like Cop Pizzle. Sometimes he gets under my skin a little bit, but that's, I think, what his whole thing is on YouTube. Cop Pizzle's a really good guy off YouTube. I actually like Cop Pizzle. I would definitely collab with Cop Pizzle again. Judy at 4? No. No wide receiver at 4. Waiting on that giveaway, Nikki said. I'm 25K. I'm going to do a giveaway. Oh, the members. I'm doing a members giveaway, but that's for members. But I'm also going to do a subscriber giveaway at 25K. Going to do probably a jersey at 25K. What do you think of Giants Wire? I think it's a great source to get quick information. I get a lot of my information from Giants Wire. Twitter, Giants Wire. Giants Wire is basically just a website that it basically does what I do. It gets information from daily news or whatever, and it doesn't really give you I feel like I give my opinion, on the story. It kind of just reports stories that have already been reported. But I think Giants Wire is a great source to get Giants information for sure. Yeah. Giants, I would love day, man. That'd be incredible, man. One day, man, that would be incredible. That'd be a dream come true. Imagine me on the Giants YouTube channel. That'd be incredible. I get to interview Daniel Jones. Are you kidding me? Link up with Fish and Bad Dog. Yeah, I don't know. I talked to Bad Dog. I think we're gonna do that one time this week. Well, all three of us are gonna go on his channel. Obviously, Bad Dog's gonna be on my channel this week. But yeah, one night this week we're gonna do that. I don't know what day, but we're gonna do it. I saw part of Jojo Rabbit. I still got to see the rest of it. I fell asleep. This is great. I plan on going up at 11. I always talk longer. But it's fun to just, talk just non-sports every once in a while with you guys for a little bit. Get to know you guys a little bit better. The movie I saw last night, it was actually pretty cool. It was a newer movie. I'm not saying it's like an Academy Award-winning movie, but Yesterday was pretty cool. I actually like the Beatles a lot, and I don't know if it came out last year, and the premise of the movie is basically the power goes out. The whole world, the power goes out at the same time for about 15 seconds, and everybody in the world, except for one guy who happens to be a singer, forgets who the Beatles are. And then he basically he starts singing the Beatles songs, and he becomes like the biggest musician in the world. I thought it was a pretty cool movie. Pretty cool idea. What's up, Moose? Thanks for popping in the stream. Knives Out. Knives Out was great. I saw that too, Lloyd. That was great. That's like a modern day Clue. Yeah, Knives Out was awesome. The twist at the I saw that about 2 weeks ago. Loved it. Loved Knives Out. It was great. When are you going to do a Knicks draft prospect stream? Probably closer. I started to do my Knicks content in like July or August, but I don't know if that's going to happen now if they resume the season. Mainly with the Knicks, it's off-season stuff. I'm going to try to stream more Knicks games next year, though. Oh, I love Knives. You didn't like Knives Out. Don't spoil it for anybody. I like Knives Out. The twist at the end, it was a little predictable. I still loved it, though. I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was cool. When are you going to get a better Knicks hat? I'm going to get a Giants draft hat. That I know I'm getting. Probably in a couple weeks. But I do need to. I actually like the logo, but I do need to get a new Knicks hat. When are the Knicks going to have a draft prospect? That's a good question, Montana. Well, hopefully R.J. Barrett and Mitch Robinson work out. Barrett played decent. I think he played better in the down the stretch here, but Robinson's got to stay out of foul trouble. But at least they got some young pieces there, but not great. Best joke I got. I told it last stream. I don't have a lot of jokes, but I told it last stream. It was the skateboard joke. When will the Giants bring back Jason Sehorn? Never. He's old. Maybe as a coach. I've told Bad Dog to give Babe back his hat. What's my favorite recent horror movie? I did, Dalia. That's funny you bring that up, because obviously I'm watching a lot of stuff now with the coronavirus. My favorite, Get Out was really good, and I also like Quiet Place. Quiet Place was awesome. But I just started watching that Tiger documentary. What is it called again? The King or whatever? The Tiger King? That thing is crazy. Those people are insane. That documentary is insane. They should all be locked up and thrown in jail. I didn't get to the end of it yet, so I'm on episode number 3, I think. It's insane, man. Let's hear the skateboard joke. Yeah, Taco, there's definitely going to be at least one, probably 2, if not more. At least one video tomorrow for sure. The skateboard joke. Okay. All right. We'll tell the skateboard joke, and then we're going to call it a night. Three guys go up to heaven. You guys probably heard the joke already. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that were in my stream when I told it, but three guys go up to heaven, and they get to the pearly gates, and God meets them there on the clouds, and he looks at the first guy. He goes, I need you to tell me the truth. How many times you cheat on your wife? And the guy goes, I got to be honest with you. I was not very faithful. I cheated on my wife 352 times. And God goes, well, that's not good. You're going to get a Pinto. So he starts driving around in a Pinto up in heaven. Goes to the second guy. How many times you cheated on your wife? He said about 50 times. He goes, that's a little bit better. You're still a horrible human being. He gives him a Jeep Cherokee. And then the third guy, he goes, how many times you cheated on your wife? He said, I'm going to be honest. I was great to my wife. Never cheated on her. I was faithful. I was great. He goes, that's great. You're going to get a Rolls Royce. So they're all driving up around on the clouds in heaven. And the guy in the Rolls Royce is pulled over on a cloud, bawling his eyes out. He's crying. And the guy in the Pinto who cheated on his wife 400 times drives up to him. He gets on his cloud. He says, why are you crying? You were a great guy. You treated your wife great. You're in heaven. You're driving a Rolls Royce. He goes, yeah, I just bumped into my wife. She's driving a skateboard. So there's my skateboard joke. There's my skateboard joke. Will you say happy birthday to my friend? Yes, Dixon Cider. Yeah, you got me with that one. Dixon Cider. So if Jesus resurrects on, how you doing, Chris? I'm doing good, Charles Dale, man. Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Andy Garcia says, that was awful. That's an interesting joke. I'm from Portchester, New York, now Montana. All right. Well, I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're enjoying Montana. I think it's funny. I thought it was funny the first time I heard it, Sonora. That's why I told it. Maybe you don't get it. But guys, I had a great time doing this stream. I hope everybody is staying safe. I hope everybody make sure you're washing your hands. You're not going out into crowded public places. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. And thank you guys for tuning in the stream. Thank you guys for keeping me company tonight and talking Giants, talking movies, and talking silly jokes and listening to my horrible voice. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all the support, guys. Have a great night. And, yeah, I'll have hopefully 2 videos out for you tomorrow, if not 1. Have a great night, guys.